406 936 6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On Rough Riders, plunge right through that line. March the ball on down the field, a touchdown every
song. I gotta be with Darian, the Rider Pride.
Don't turn it down. Let her sing.
On for your fame. Fight, fellows, fight, and we will win this game.
Is there a better way to roll into the weekend, into a long weekend than that little earworm right there? It's Chris Mazurek, Barney Shinker, Colson, Curtis. We got 3 hours. We started it with the On Rough Riders, a favorite around here because tomorrow it's huge. It's going down, Mosaic Stadium, Riders, Lions, home playoff game. Hanging in the balance.
The beauty of the CFL back in our 2-month losing streak, if you would have said, eventually that's going to come to an end, you're going to win a few, and then you're going to have a chance to play for a home playoff game come Thanksgiving, I don't know if anybody would have bet any money in Vegas on that. Yeah, but here we are. And tomorrow, 5 o'clock kickoff, 2 o'clock pregame here on CKRM. We had a chance yesterday to talk a little bit about this, about what's coming back for the Riders, but the BC Lions also have a bunch of players because they've been hit hard with injuries lately too. There's a reason why they've been playing bad. They're going to be getting some guys back as well. So we're hoping for a good football game. What did we say? It was 50.5 was the over-under yesterday?
We'll talk. You know what? We have the show-wise, Farhan Lalji is going to join us in hour 2. We're going to talk to him about guys coming back. What are we seeing from the BC Lions going into this one tomorrow? Farhan's really close with the Lions. Don't sleep on hour 1 of this program, though. We're going to hear from Zach Fry, who's back in the lineup. He's coming up momentarily. We got tickets to give away to a Regina Pats game. You're going to want to tune in for that. We have Dan De Silva, head coach of the first place Saskatoon Blades, joining us in hour 1 as well. Elsewhere in the show, Luke Mullender in hour 3. It's always nice to talk to Luke the day before the game.
Yep.
Get Luke's kind of keys to the game, what he's looking at. Colson, you talked about it yesterday. The weather's going to be perfect tomorrow. I think a lot of Rider fans would have liked to see maybe a little cold, maybe a little wind. Not great for maybe people going to the game, but to get BC here, they're not acclimated to that weather.
No, they're not a cold weather team. And here's the thing. If they don't get home field, you have no idea on November 2nd when the Western semifinal happens, what it could be. It could be a day like today or a few inches of snow on the ground, the wind's whipping through, and there's a lot of guys that don't like to play in that. They were never used to it, and that is not their style of game.
It's my anniversary today.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's Barney's wedding anniversary. How many years?
16 years. If you would have told me that I would be married to someone for 16 years when I was in my 20s and early 30s, I would have said get lost.
I'm going to say, as someone at your wedding 16 years ago, if you would have said, now, because I believe, and you still are, you're punching above your weight class. You married up.
Yes.
I married up.
Yes.
You even said that night. You're like, I don't see it. I don't get it. And I'm like, thank you. I get what?
Yeah.
But yeah, so 16 years ago, hey, double C's. 16 years ago, how old were you guys?
Well, I was 9.
11.
Oh, 9 and 11.
And you're walking down the aisle saying I do forever.
It was at the Ramada here in Regina.
I remember that.
I never thought I'd get married in Regina, Saskatchewan to be started. But you know what? The Ramada put on a nice spread.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had, as a Ukrainian, as someone who can be critical of perahe and halabshi, which is pierogies and cabbage rolls, they ran an unbelievable cabbage roll at the Ramada. It was a great night. It was awesome. Friends coming in from all over, like Calgary, the States. One of my groomsmen flew up from Las Vegas. He flew in. He's like, when I landed, I wasn't sure. Was that the airport? No, that's the whole town. That's the whole city. No, they loved it though. It was great. They had a little casino action. People got really intoxicated. But 16 years. So anyone out there celebrating on this long weekend?
See, we celebrated 15 years in July on the 26th when we were on vacation in Hawaii. So, because I remember, like, you guys got married. It was like almost a year ahead. And
the funny thing is that we're getting into rider stuff here momentarily.
But a lot of people got married on Thanksgiving weekend. It is a big weekend.
It snowed the day after. Buddy Dan Morin got married the day after, and it snowed. We had our gift opening. It snowed here like a foot. So it was unfortunate for that. But the thing I want to get to, and I want to get to having a wedding on Thanksgiving is good because you're guaranteed a good meal. But a lot of people out there getting ready for Thanksgiving meals, all that. I want to talk food and Thanksgiving. For a guy that's batching it with my son this weekend on my wedding anniversary, I'd like to know if there's any kind of tricks on where a guy can go, maybe grab a turkey, a stuffing, something like that. Because at the end of the day, Western pizza will do.
Now, there's only a few things. I'm not the biggest turkey fan. I'll eat it, but it's not but there's a few staples. To me, if the stuffing is good, that to me is the key. It would be like when you go to a restaurant, if they serve fried rice. If the fried rice is really good, usually the rest of the meal is going to be top notch. If the stuffing is good, then you know probably everything else. And my mother-in-law, who's doing things, she's a very good cook. And it's usually, and I'm like, and the way she makes her stuffing was very similar to the way my mom made it growing up. Because as we discussed in yesterday's show, here's the other thing, Sharky, if you send me any more recipes with like wild pheasant and sauce, I'm going to start putting your real name on the radio because it's not Sharky. I'm going to expose you for who you really are. Stop with the emails. I'm never eating pheasant with white wine sauce.
If you caught the show yesterday, Sharky was
he went off
trying to take us down
Wild game lane?
Wild game delicacies. Yeah, no, not happening over here, Sharky. I get a lot of people out there like it. Hey, to each their own. Just got a happy 16th anniversary to Brian, Sarah, Brent, Paul, the Mass family, Affordable Trailer Sales. They were at my wedding. They were one of my first clients working here at Harvard. They're beautiful people from the Lemberg area. So yeah,
because I remember at your wedding, because was she my girlfriend at the time, now my wife Abby. She's like, "Do you know anybody here?" And I said, "Well, I know Barney." And I said, "I've met his wife Trish once." I said, "I kind of know one of Barney's sister, but other than that, I say we really don't know anybody at all." And I remember, so we're just sitting at a table of strangers, and we've done this before. If you've been to a wedding, sometimes that's a good thing when you're forced, when there's 8 people sitting together and nobody kind of knows each other. You're forced to talk and you're forced to visit, and you end up meeting some really neat people.
You hammer back a few doubles, and then everything just kind of flows a little better. A lot of people will be doing that tomorrow at Mosaic Stadium. It's $5 beer.
It always is,
the game.
Happy hour. Yeah,
that happy hour is awesome.
And the other thing too is we've had a few texts in. The Roy Shivers and Darian Durant will be signing autographs tomorrow before the game at Party in the Park in that area. So if you're looking for them, it will be happening there before the game. And we're going to have Darian on the pregame show tomorrow just after 2:00 here on CKRM.
And then doing something tonight at the Rider Store.
Yeah, they're signing from 6 until 7:30 at the Rider Store, so you can come by. Like, they're busy. And Dave Thomas, who was the MC last night at the Plaza of Honor, and he said he was nervous for a week. He's like, I was good. So nothing but reviews, and just hats off to everybody with the Riders and the foundation. An incredible night. And Darian's speech, Roy's speech, good stuff. I got a chance to watch the video where Darian talked to the team yesterday as they wrapped practice, and it was a good message.
I was supposed to go to Plaza, under the weather, didn't want to get everyone sick, so I made the executive decision, no, someone else go. But kind of kicking myself because I wanted to see those speeches. Tomorrow, in the lineup, AJ Ouellette, running back.
I know, but here's the thing. If it's me, because... save him to the playoffs, because with the hip injury he's had, you'd hate to see if anything happens, and especially early in the game, they're only dressing a couple of running backs like they have, and you can't, like, if we got to go on a 3-game winning streak to get a Grey Cup, I don't know if it's me, you know what, Hickson's played fine. He's played well. Like, there's 6 lineup changes for tomorrow. There's 6 guys in and there's 6 guys out for the Riders.
Williams in, Ouellette in, Brammer in, Fry in, Picton in, Marion in. Picton, we knew that was coming as well. See, I agree with you, but we talked about this earlier in the week too. Coach Mace and Ouellette will have a handle on what's going on, I think. Okay, maybe he's going in for more of the protection side on things. Bertrand Houdon is the backup.
The backup.
So if anything happens, he's the guy that's going in. I think they know. They know what I'm hoping anyway, that hip stays healthy.
That's a hard injury to rehab, especially during the season. Like, just think about it. When you anybody with a hip problem, could you imagine having to play football through that? It's bad enough having a bad hip.
It's an awful. People have been messaging and saying hip injuries. My brother-in-law broke his hip on a knee board back in the 80s. Remember, kneeboarding was big? And that thing's bothered him forever. Like, he was in his 20s. The hip is...
My sister got a hip replaced 4 months ago. She's getting the other one done.
Did she buy it from Neil Hughes or Weston Dressler? Because they sell that stuff.
Is that what they do in
That's
real
what they
life?
Do. Yeah.
They sell hips?
Yeah.
Like plastic?
Could have got a deal. Thanksgiving special.
I didn't know that. White Chocolate sells fake limbs?
Well, I don't know what fake limbs, but he sells like parts.
Prosthetic. No, prosthetics external. Replacement joints.
There you go.
There.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, but she had her hip done, the first one, and then the second one here is coming up, and I can only imagine.
That's tough. Like we said, Zach Fry likely to start at left guard. The London, Ontario native is jacked to be back with his crew.
Zach, it's great to see you out there again. How are you feeling?
Feels good to be back out there with the guys, and just can't complain out there being out there with these guys. Shout out to Jacob Rammer, Daniel Johnson. Those are my guys. Noah's there. Can't forget about him.
Well, there you gone ahead and done the obligatory shout out. So they buy supper now, isn't that the deal?
I mean, I'm hoping so. I know JB's bought me a couple of coffees, so yeah.
Well, we're not going to go ahead and make up our own rules here, but I do want to ask you a little bit about coming back into the lineup. What's it like trying to jump back in right where you were at?
Yeah, it's a little different coming back from an injury, but all these guys, we do a great job just being around the meeting room and great rehab. So when you get pushed in that position, you can just kind of, it's definitely a little different, but just trying to make that transition back into it.
You talk to different athletes and they say sometimes, I had a really different perspective of the game when I was sitting out. Did you have that?
Yeah, it's definitely weird just kind of sitting back and watching everyone doing. You learn a lot of pointers, watching other guys that are in the spots that you were supposed to be, and then watching more film on guys that have done it before you. So, definitely a little bit of a different perspective, and it just kind of helps to add to your game.
And does that help keep you mentally sharp as well?
Yeah, 100%. Just being out there and then being in the meetings rooms and just making sure that everyone's always locked in. We're always asking questions to each other that, guys that aren't even in, just making sure that everyone's dialed in for the week.
How hard is it to sit and watch, though, while the team is maybe struggling and now on the rebound with the 3-game win streak?
Yeah, it kind of sucks just being on the sideline and everything, wishing you could help out there. But, these guys are doing their best, and, I'm glad that, we're winning games again and then just contribute to these guys doing their thing, all the guys that had to step up in this O-line room and just do their thing out there.
Which is more satisfying, your quarterback being able to throw for 300 yards passing or a running back like Armstead that goes off for 200 yards in Calgary?
It's a little bit of both. When you get that run game going and you start knocking people over, that's really exciting. But then when you get a clean pocket for Trev and he's just delivering dimes out there, that's another special feeling. So both of them are great for us.
Which is harder to prepare for than in a return should you get back into the lineup, physically or mentally?
I think it's a little bit of both. Physically with the arm and everything, and then just mentally just being checked in, and then taking that mental aspect just out to the field again.
Appreciate you doing this. Can't wait to see you out on the field.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's been hard for a lot of guys. Glad a lot of them are coming back here with something meaning.
We talked about this, Dave and I, the other day. You have a lot of guys that are returning from the injury list that haven't played in a long time. And the guys that have played have kind of gelled and got chemistry for whatever the magic that Edwin Harrison has been able to provide this year as their offensive line coach. Like, sometimes you don't want to mess with something that's working. Because Trevor's been sacked 4, maybe 5 times in the past 5 games. Not a lot.
No.
And some of those are Some of those a couple were coverage sacks. They weren't out and out blown. So they've played. Whoever has been in there has played incredibly. Because remember this time last year, we were in the 60 to 70 sack range, and it was just a tire fire. Where this year that hasn't been the case. And so, do you want to mess with that? I know, but that's the thing. You know this, but football's crazy like that.
Football.
When you're on a heater, do you want to mess with your routine?
I think at this point, it's just like, let's get as many bodies back as possible.
Ready to go for the playoffs.
Let's get rolling here. BC scares me.
Yep.
They're due. Farhan Lalji coming up in a bit. Curious what's going on in Lion Camp. But then again, our defense is tricky, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you can tell that it confuses. It's confusing quarterbacks and what they're doing and what they're playing, and it's like, okay, how they're switching up their zones. We've talked about it yesterday. Rourke, is he going to all of a sudden the rust is going to come off? I wish it was a little bit colder tomorrow for these West Coast boys coming.
Rick Campbell, to me, has always been one of the better coaches in the CFL. And with Ryan Phillips in that defense, although offensively they haven't looked good, the Lions' defense has played some pretty solid football, and sometimes with not a lot of run support, and they've been in holes. So, it's a bit of a chess match there because they've played well, and they've got a bunch of guys and new guys, and they've had injuries as well, and other guys have stepped up. So, it's all I know, and here's the thing, and I know we can't guarantee anything. Tomorrow's football game between the Lions and the Riders should be a whole lot better than the Stampeder and Eskimo debacle, whatever that is going to be. The Elks, pardon me, at McMahon
Stadium.
Big
correction guy over there.
Big correction guy. Mr. Before the show, adjust my camera guy, please.
Big correction guy. Last time these two teams played, both teams with 4 sacks. Mm-hmm. On the other, it was a long time ago. I'm not going back to anything in this game besides maybe the fact that we definitely have to cue in on McInnes.
He's the CFL's leading receiver, and although they don't have Dominic Rhymes anymore and Brian Burnham retired, and we know all that, Justin McInnes has stepped in and done a great job. And that a lot of us as Rider fans going, wow, that's the guy we would have loved to have seen when he was wearing Rider green, but for whatever reason, so he's gone on, he's having a great year, and he's one of those guys. When the ball goes up, those 50-50 balls, the thing is this year he's getting it, and he's coming down with that ball. He's getting breaks. He's got over 1,200 yards.
243 the last time against
I know.
us. Yeah, he tore it up. It's too bad. I don't know if Brandon Basler, who was in here last Friday, is listening out there. I'm contemplating who to put a unit on here for the Riders to score a touchdown tomorrow now.
Well, you'd have to go Keyshawn Johnson, because how many games in a row does he have a touchdown? Are we at 6, or did we stall at 5?
I think we stalled at one point, but he's still got 4 and 5.
Yeah, he's almost a touchdown a game lately, so I would say Keyshawn Johnson.
Alternatively.
And the other thing, too, is because...
Duncan Busby. I'm going to go him again.
Dale Duncan Busby, touchdown?
I would say Shea Patterson.
Shea. Yeah.
That's the cop-out.
Let me...
or Sam Emilus last week, longest touchdown of the year, it looked like. So
let me look at some odds here while we go to break. We got hockey tickets to give away. Regina Pats. We have to give them away in this hour. 936-6262. The Pats taking on the Swift Current Broncos this evening. The Spokane Chiefs on Sunday. Yeah. If you want to go watch the Regina Pats play under the orange top, Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer, 936-6262. Time for a quick break. We come back. We're going to run down the night in the SJ, the Dub, and the NHL. It's the all-new Sports Cage on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Liquor Stores. Now open in Harbor Landing and Rochdale Boulevard.
This Turkey Alert is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Food Stores.
Thanksgiving will soon be here.
We hope you'll be surrounded by family and an amazing Thanksgiving feast.
And if you forgot anything at all,
cranberry sauce. People always forget the cranberry sauce.
We're here to help.
From all of our families at Sherwood Co-op to our owners around the dinner table. Happy Thanksgiving. We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Can someone please pass the stuffing?
It's our Ranch Roundup. I'm Ryan Young from 620 CKRM, and we want to recognize our province's loyal ranchers and thank you for all your hard work. 620 CKRM will be visiting 5 local pastures to deliver Tim Hortons to treat all the hardworking ranchers. Ranch Roundup for Class of America, Heartland Livestock Yorkton, Fraser Tolmie, Member of Parliament Moose Jaw Centre Lanigan, 620 CKRM.
See them rise.
Partial breakaway, right side stops, waits, he scores!
Then it's Dunlop Ford. Regina Pats hockey is back on your official voice for the Pats. 620 CKRM.
Tune in to Puck Drop tonight at 7 when the Swift Current Broncos take on the Regina Pats at the Brandt Center.
Game day tickets are available now from the Pats box office. Don't miss a minute of the action. Listen on air or online at 620CKRM.com. Regina Pats hockey. See them rise.
Local communities are at the heart of what we do. Last year, more than 200,000 Saskatchewan people reached out for help through United Way's 211 service. When our friends and neighbors struggle, communities struggle. With your support, we can answer the call and connect to hope and help. Each of us have the ability to be there for our neighbors. Show your local love by donating today.
Visit UnitedWayRegina.ca and change lives today. Change begins with support.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At eBarassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed CNH parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at eBarassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. eBarassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
Are you losing sleep over your debt, being hounded by collection calls? My name is Jasmine Brown, a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina. I understand that this can be a stressful situation and I'm here to help. I can put a stop to these collection calls and guide you toward your debt-free future. All it takes is one phone call. Let's discuss your debt relief options during a free consultation. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Save big this Thanksgiving with deals from the Wild Turkey Weekend Sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Grill, smoke, seal, and more with up to 40% off select food prep and cooking gear. Stock up on angling essentials with up to 40% off select fishing. And bundle up for outdoor fun with up to 25% off select apparel. Gobble up great deals at the Wild Turkey Weekend Sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. See online for more details.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders. Or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
You know what they say about trust? Trust goes both ways. And hey, that doesn't just go for people. It goes for you and your vehicle too. If your vehicle seems to be telling you something's wrong, you have to trust that instinct. Visit your local Integra Tire dealer for all of your car's mechanical service needs and get up to a $100 rebate on a set of 4 tires on select brands. You want tires you can trust from a dealer you can trust. Trust your locally owned Integra Tire dealers. Cars Holdings Assiniboia and Schlamps Tire Grenfell. Truly local.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
936-6262 if you want to win those Pats tickets for Sunday night. You know who they play? The Spokane Chiefs. You know who's on the Spokane Chiefs? Berkeley Catton, who good chance he's going to be on the World Junior team from Saskatoon. He played as an exception player. He's a good player.
The exceptional status, I just think, for all the people we knew growing up, what exceptional. If you were exceptional, it wasn't usually for the right reasons, for all the wrong reasons. It's funny, I was out for lunch today. I saw some kids with their Everett Silvertips stuff on. Are they playing a Moose Jaw tonight? Like, where are they? Why are they still in town? Where's their next game?
Everett is in Moose Jaw.
Yeah, okay,
this evening.
That's what I kind of figured. I'm like, they must be heading back, going to the hotel, packing up, on their way to Moose Jaw, and their road trip continues.
Not a bad, if you're out in that area, not a bad little twirl to Moose Jaw tonight. Go get yourself a ticket. You can watch Landon DuPont and the Everett Silver Tips. Supposed to be worth the price of admission. He was here the other night against the Pats. Scored. What does he have? What did we say? 11 points? 11 or 12 points already in 4.
Yeah, he's like plus 12 or something.
Yeah, and he's a plus 12. Yeah, so
as an exception player in the WHL. Swift Current is in Regina. Brandon's in Medicine Hat. That's an intriguing matchup early in the season. Vancouver's in Lethbridge, and then out west we got PG, Kelowna, Kamloops, Seattle, and Wenatchee at Victoria.
4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points, plus 12 in 7 games.
15 years old.
Not a defensive liability to this point.
And he's a defenseman. He's in Moose Jaw this evening. If you're around that area, go take it in. Moose Jaw, you've been in that new rink?
Yes, once.
It's a nice
I
rink.
was in the old one lots, trust me. But here's the thing. The character of the old place, and yes, there were a lot of flaws, but when you think back of all-time places that will never, ever be back again, like it was a beauty. Hey, tonight, 6:30 pregame show on here, 6:20 CKRM, and 7 o'clock play-by-play, Dante DeCaria, Swift Current Broncos, and the Regina Pats.
The boards at the old Crush Can were so, they were cemented in. Getting hit into those boards was the absolute worst. I remember, not as bad as Medicine Hat, it's old barn. Yeah, but those things didn't move. SJHL this evening. We talked to Benny Walchuk on Tuesday for the Southie Mainline Chrysler SJHL report, and I said, Benny, what's the game? What's the game that's worth the drive? Just like Southie is, guaranteed every time, the new king of trucks. And he said, rematch of last year's final tonight in Flin Flon. Melfort, Flin Flon. 5-1 Melfort Mustangs, 4-3-1 Flin Flon Bombers. Now, that's a bit of a jaunt.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of places. I don't know if Flin Flon would be number one to be like, hey, let's go on a road trip.
It's beautiful out there. If you're ever going to go for a drive on the Hanson Lake to Flin Flon, tonight would be the game. But it is the worth the drive game of the week for Southie Mainline Chrysler. Right now, they got $1,500 bonus cash on Jeep Grand Cherokees, 15% off Pacificas, $18,000 off Select Rams, the new king of trucks in Southeast Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. Closer to our area tonight in the SJ, Weyburn is in Notre Dame. Nipawin in Yorkton to take on the Terriers. Terriers looking to rebound. They lost to Humboldt last weekend. Humboldt's in the Battlefords. Estevan is in Kindersley. And that is your SJHL. U Sport wise, people are wondering, you got to keep up with the U Sport. The U of R men Cougars are taking on McEwen here tonight and tomorrow. 7 p.m. tonight, 5 p.m. tomorrow. The women are at McEwen. I had to look up where McEwen was.
That's in Edmonton, right?
It's in Edmonton.
It's Grant McEwen Community.
Yeah.
Is it still called Community College or just Grant McEwen College?
I remember it as Grant McEwen, yeah.
Yeah, it was Grant McEwen Community College. No disrespect. Maybe they've taken that out of there. It was like Mount Royal in Calgary. It was Mount Royal College, but now it's a university. And so it's Mount Royal. Much like the Thunder Hilltop thing, when it comes to the college hockey, and some will disagree, it's usually lately, it's the University of Alberta Golden Bears on the men, and then versus blank in the final every year. So it's almost like them and then everybody else, the Cougars, the Huskies, the Bisons, like you name it. And they're never not stacked. So
the Dinos program has come a long way.
It has.
Huskies has always been there. Now they're playing at the Bell Shirts, beautiful facility. Manitoba has been hit and miss. Daryl Wolski the other day was on talking NCAA hockey, and he's got you got a kid that's either it's like, hey, do you want to go play in Denver, or do you want to play at the University of Manitoba? If this whole CHL thing, NCAA goes through. But yeah, no, Edmonton or the University of Alberta. has had a handle on the hockey program.
And when I heard that interview and they were talking about college, and I thought, well, if there's a couple of programs that are safe, they're going to be safe just because of lineage and where you're from. That one I think will always be insulated with one of the best programs in the country. And they always seem to have a powerhouse team.
Namer texted in, he's always on the ball here. It's MacEwan University now.
Okay, but it was at one time Grant MacEwan Community College, and if it has been rebranded and renamed, I said apologies. Maybe I haven't been keeping up on my schools that became universities.
I'm just happy that I was like, where is? And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's the old Grant MacEwan. It's in Edmonton. You want to win those rider tickets? You want to win those Pat tickets? 936-6262. We're giving them away, though. Colson's got the wheel of winning by 4 o'clock. We're giving them away. We're going to keep the hockey talk going. After this break, we're hoping to be joined by head coach of the Saskatoon Blades, Dan De Silva. It's the all-new Sportscage if you're watching the stream on sportscage.com.
You know something? It's like selling a six-pack with only 5 beers in it. Wood Country Woody here, reminding you that unlike some other places, Wood Country Garage Packages contains everything you need, right from the start, including appearance-grade lumber, all your nails and screws, and walk-in doors with cladded jambs. Building a garage? It's one and done with Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Shop online. wood-country.com.
In town, at the cabin, or on the farm. Only one rural internet provider brings you a whole home solution. Access Rural Internet now offers download and upload speeds up to 350 megs for one low price. Plus, keep entertained with Access Next TV Stream and keep an eye on your home and property with Access Rural Security, each for just $14.95 a month extra. Get more from your rural internet service. Visit myaccess.ca today.
Calling all farmers, ranchers, and producers. Did you know you hold the key to a resilient agriculture future? Donate to Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan and help connect students with agriculture. Together, we can cultivate a generation that understands, appreciates, and champions the heart of farming. A sustainable future begins with investing in education today. Make a charitable donation to Ag in the Classroom at aitc.sk.ca/donate.
I'm Carla Beck, leader of the Saskatchewan NDP. Right now, life is just too damn expensive. That's why, as Premier, I won't raise your taxes. In fact, I'll cut taxes, making it cheaper to gas up your vehicle and buy winter clothes for the kids. And I'm the only leader in this campaign who can say that. It's time for a change in Saskatchewan. I'm Carla Beck, and I approve this message.
Authorized by the Chief Official Agent for the Sask NDP.
See them rise.
Partial breakaway, right side stops, waits, he scores!
Then it's Dunlop Ford. Regina Pats hockey is back on your official voice for the Pats. 620 CKRM.
Tune in to Puck Drop tonight at 7 when the Swift Current Broncos take on the Regina Pats at the Brent Center.
Game day tickets are available now from the Pats box office. Don't miss a minute of the action. Listen on air or online at 620CKRM.com. Regina Pats hockey. See them rise.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capella area, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Ensure your machinery is field ready with RME's Red Seal inspection program. Book early for huge savings off inspection rates on select New Holland and Case IH equipment and an additional 10% off parts and service resulting from inspection. Schedule today with RME. Conditions apply. Rocky Mountain Equipment. Right by you.
Welcome back to the all-new Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Our Friday Night Lights feature is also coming up here in the next 20 minutes. We are going to be joined by head coach of the Shaunavon Shadows Aaron Audette as they get set for an undefeated clash against Lumsden in Shaunavon, which is starting in about 25 minutes time. It'll be absolutely cuckoo bananas. We're going to run through some other high school football games as well. But it's time to go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Western Pizza, perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings that you love. I teased it. We are joined by new head coach of the Saskatoon Blades, Dan De Silva, off to a great start. Dano up there in Saskatoon. Hey, for a rookie, you got to be happy with the way things have gone so far.
Yeah, it's been a great start. I've been saying lots, though, it's just a start, and it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. So we're happy with the first 6 games here. We're happy with all the contributions we've been getting from rookie players and new faces in our lineup. And so, yeah, it's been a good start. We just got to keep things going here, and it starts again tonight.
Tonight, Spokane, Berkeley Catton, hometown boy in town to take on the Blades. Maz and I were talking about this. It's Bring a Steve night. I love the marketing idea that the Blades are doing. I got to ask, is your brother Steve coming to the game? Are you bringing your brother?
That's funny. That's a good question. I actually have an I Love Steve shirt now that I have to wear. But yeah, he's actually not coming tonight. He's coming tomorrow. They're in town for Thanksgiving tomorrow night, so he'll be here to watch us against Moose Jaw.
So what is the genesis for the uneducated? So this Bring a Steve night. So where is this coming from for people that don't know?
So our team photographer, Steve Hiscock, he's been around now for 20 years this season. So they're kind of honoring him. And then I think they're trying to set a Guinness World Book of Records for the most Steves in one place tonight as well. So that's kind of the backstory on that one.
Back to the hockey team. Obviously, bonus time for you guys a little bit too. Were you expecting to get Tanner Molendyke back and Brandon Lazowski? They were returned this week. Obviously, Molendyke's with the Nashville Predators, Lazowski with Toronto. Were you expecting him to get them back, Dano?
Yeah, we were. In Tanner's speaking about Tanner first, like we kind of thought he'd be getting a taste of the NHL here first and foremost. We thought he'd be gone for, about another month. If I'm being honest, we thought he'd get a handful of NHL games and then be returned, but we're happy to have him. The sooner the better for us. He's ready, man. He knows where he's going. He'll be in the NHL. It's good for him to come back and have fun playing at this level and playing in all situations like he has. And then being a top D-man in the league, if not the top D-man in the league. And then, going on to World Juniors at Christmas time, I'm sure is on the radar for him with the injury that happened with him there last year. So all really cool experiences that he'll get to have in his final year of junior hockey, in my prediction. But and then Lizzo too, like obviously huge to have him come back, a guy who's been around, a leader on this team. And obviously he was chasing a pro contract that just never panned out, but he's here to have another season of developing and becoming the best Blade and WHL player he can be, that, and hopefully set himself up for next year being a pro.
Does having a strong 20-year-old like that, is it more effective now or back when you played, do you think, Dan?
That's a good question. It's hard to say, I guess. Like, the 20-year-olds are so key. Like, that's, only having 3 of them, it's so important. Like, they have such valuable experience that they've gone through the ropes. And especially in our case, we have guys that have been to the WHL Eastern Conference Final 2 years in a row. Guys have kind of seen the highs and lows and been through the grind of the WHL season. So that it makes a huge difference. They're the elite ones of their age. There's only 3 per team. So yeah, we're lucky. We got 3 really good ones.
Dan, you just mentioned it, the highs and the lows. Western Hockey League Eastern Conference Championship last year, Moose Jaw Warriors. Warriors end up going on, winning the league. Now, as a new head coach of the Saskatoon Blades, there's one thing, and as a kid that grew up in Saskatoon that had season tickets for a lot of years, there's one thing missing from the legacy of the Saskatoon Blades, and that is a Memorial Cup championship. How much does that weigh on your mind now that the responsibility is yours, on your shoulders, leading this hockey team?
Yeah, I mean, we're taking it one day at a time here. We're realistic about where we're at as an organization after having 2 Eastern Conference final runs here the last couple of years and really going for a championship and falling just short of that. That being said, it was successful seasons for us. Those 2 seasons were very successful for us. But we weren't able to seal the deal. And now we're in a bit of a retool situation here where we're getting new faces in. And I mean, the goal is always the same. At the beginning of every season, the goal is to win a championship. And that is still our goal this year. But our main goal is just as a group to get better every single day. Now, do I want to win a championship in my tenure here as head coach? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's just one day at a time and working towards that goal.
Hey, what's up with the German kid you guys are bringing in, David Lewandowski? Is that how you say his name? What's going on there? Is he coming? Is he joined already?
Yeah, he landed last night in Saskatoon. He was on the ice this morning for morning skate. He will not play tonight. Just we feel it's best with travel and jet lag and all that stuff to not throw him right into the fire. So
what's he all about as a player?
He's big. He's 6'2", 6'3".
Whoa.
Yeah, he's a big boy. I talked to him this morning. He said he's a passer. So a bit of a playmaker. I watched him a bit this summer at the U17 or U18, World Hockey Championships in Edmonton. He's got a great shot. Sees the ice really well. He's a big body, like I said, power forward style. His dad is a legend in Germany, in German ice hockey, the DEL. So there's some good bloodlines there. And yeah, we're looking forward to inserting him into the lineup and see what he can do.
Okay, before we let you go, we had Colby Armstrong on earlier this week, right? Army, always a beauty. I know you played with Riley. Did he talked about everybody going to power skating with his mom, Rosie? I'm gonna say, did you and your brother take in any of Rosie's skating camps?
Oh yeah, I still hear the shrill of her voice ringing in my ears. But Rosie's a legend. She if you weren't doing the drills right, she'd scare you straight, and then you wouldn't mess up again. You're always paying attention because you didn't want to be the one getting yelled at. But our families were very tight growing up. I was tight with Colby and Riley, and they're both doing really well. And Rosie's still at it in the game. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, it's so awesome. Just the close knit community of Saskatoon hockey. I know it's game day. You did this. You got Spokane, like we said tonight. I appreciate it, Dano. Always. I'll trade you a Nooner hat for that one next time I'm up in Saskatoon. How about that?
Sounds good. I know this one has some sweat rings. May want a fresh one, but that sounds good, buddy.
Okay, see you, Dano. That's head coach of the Saskatoon Blades taking on Spokane up in Saskatoon tonight. Dan DeSilva. I know it's Saskatoon guys and the Blades team.
I'm surprised when they went through the stats of this young German kid, 6'2", 6'3", good shot, power forward, to be like, yeah, there was this Leon Draisaitl that played for the Raiders at one time, but I totally missed his Western Hockey League career. I don't remember him as a... How do you not remember Draisaitl when he played?
I don't.
Well, no, because like as Van Stone said, it was like Modano. You cannot not notice this kid.
And then he went to Kelowna. Maybe
sure, but that was for a cup of coffee at the end. But when he played for could he be the next coming?
And his dad was a big German player, right? I know that it goes around once in a while on social media. His dad being stopped by Sean Burke in the Olympics after Lindros scored in the shootout, and then it was Draisaitl's dad that goes down and gets stopped, and he had the bad yellow SK2000 helmet. But that German kid for Saskatoon, what a 6'2", 6'3". That's a big boy.
Jet lag. That's some serious jet lag.
We do have Friday Night Lights when we get back. There is a clash down in the southwest part of the province getting going here. Just in about 20 minutes time, we're going to be joined by the head coach of the Shaunavon Shadows. It is the all-new Sports Cage on the home of football in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
That was the bull elk, one of the largest mammals in North America. That was Betty. The water heater in her RV split open, and the water has leaked everywhere. She is not happy. If she'd gone to Affordable Trailer Sales, she could have avoided this messy heartache. Call today and get your unit winterized so you don't end up like Betty. Affordable Trailer Sales, Highway 1 West, South Service Road. Or visit affordabletrailersales.ca.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Kelm Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Kelm Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Kelm Solar Livestock Watering System at kelmsolar.com. Kelm Solar, we move water.
Your friends at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea have exactly what you need this fall. From muzzle loaders, rifles to shotguns, you are totally covered this hunting season. Plus, browse through their great selection of ammunition, optics, calls, trail cams, scents, knives, and more. The hunting store that has it all at Prairie Gun Traders in Avonlea. You have a friend in the game. Main Street, Avonlea, or check out prairieguntraders.ca.
Hi, this is Stephen Arndt from the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan. We're the ones responsible for recycling your tires. We're a non-profit corporation that was established to serve as the scrap tire recycling program operator in Saskatchewan, approved by the Ministry of the Environment. We're responsible to all stakeholders, including consumers who pay the tire environmental fee, the collectors, the Ministry of the Environment, and the people of Saskatchewan. Visit tssk.ca to see how you can recycle your tires.
There she is. There.
What are you waiting for?
Gun's jammed.
We better get to TNT Gunworks.
TNT Gunworks in Regina is your trusted source in Saskatchewan for guns, ammunition, hunting supplies, and has an on-site gunsmith that services rifles and shotguns. They've got the biggest selection and the best price.
Ah, son of a gun.
That's the spirit.
Stop in at TNT Gunworks just off Albert on 4th Avenue North, Regina.
Tiny toppings and cardboard-flavored carbs are not what you get when you order from Western Pizza. But they haven't just perfected pizza. No, my friend, add Caesar salad to that list, along with satisfying garlic toast, baked lasagna, crispy chicken wings, and every other item on their extensive menu. Western Pizza makes food for hungry people. So if you're only kinda sorta hungry, you should invite more people. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste.
Getting the urge to redecorate? Now's the time. It's Seco Days. Save up to 50% on Seco's best paints. Paints we're proud of for projects you'll be proud of. Hurry! Deal ends October 16th. Find your paint at seco.ca.
The all-new Sportscage is proud to present Friday Night Lights, our in-depth look at high school football across Saskatchewan. Friday Night Lights is brought to you by Regina Motor Products. Take advantage of their winter tire swap. Save up to $20. Book today.
Friday Night Lights for Regina Motor Products. $20 off your tire changeover. It's not under the lights, but it's starting here momentarily. It's Shaunavon and Lumsden, two undefeated teams on a Friday. Nothing better than that. Joining us right now, coach of the Shaunavon Shadows, Aaron Audette from Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. It just dawned on me, this is a rematch of last year's provincial final, Aaron.
That's right. Yeah, we had us and Lumsden in the provincial final down in Lumsden last year. We met in the final game of the regular season last year as well as two undefeated teams. Lumsden got the better of us both times. So it's kind of the same scenario again. I think both teams back with strong teams this year, kind of having blown through the rest of the conference. So it's going to be a good matchup tomorrow here, I think. Yeah.
I got it. You know what? Just spending some time in Shaunavon back in the day and all that town's got to be buzzing right now, right before kickoff, game time. I'm sure the field, a good crowd. It's a beautiful day out for football.
Yeah, absolutely. We've always gotten great support from the community here for high school football. It's been a good history, and I think really the last couple of years we've been building momentum. We lost to Lumsden 2 years ago in the playoffs in a 28-27 game that was decided on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. And then last year having the chance to get back to the provincial final, I think we've seen renewed and increased support over the last couple seasons with some success and a lot of commitment from some of the same guys that have been here for the couple of years, and the towns kind of get to know the guys and enjoy watching them play. And there's lots of people, I think, that are looking forward to it and feeling excited about the game tomorrow.
Let's talk about the team, and your squad. An interesting situation that you let me know off camera about your quarterback.
Yeah, we've got a guy by grade 12 by the name of Caleb Little, who's in his fourth year starting at quarterback for us, which hasn't, not to my memory, I don't think there's been a kid as a 4-year starter. And I know he's had some big plays over the last couple of years. He led us in rushing touchdowns as well as passing touchdowns last year and this year. And so I know Lumsden's going to be game planning to try and stop him. So
let's give a plug to some of the other maybe seniors, because I think it is senior day for the game as well. But who else on the other side of the ball that's graduating, that's been I guess a pillar for the Shadows?
I think one guy that jumps out offensively, and I'll get to the defense in a minute too, offensively, is a receiver. We've got Grayson Arndt, and I kind of mentioned to you his lineage going back to his grandfather, Barry Aldag, and his time with the Riders, and then his great uncle's Roger, who's a Plaza of Honor member with the Riders. So originally from Gull Lake, but now ending up in Shaunavon, if you know that. That's a rivalry from down the highway. But he's been really big for us the last couple of years. And I know last year when we were in Lumsden, Roger was there watching, and some of the guys were a little bit disappointed that we didn't put on a better show for him.
What about on the defensive side of the ball?
Defensive side of the ball, I think we're led by another grade 12 Ryden Lingenfelter, who's been playing with us for 4 years on the senior team, which again doesn't happen that often. He's a real leader, real smart kid who knows how to play multiple positions and is almost like, he's seeing things and letting coaches know what he thinks we should do coverage wise. And it's good to have guys with lots of experience, especially we're with the same core of guys that made that trip to Lumsden in the provincial final last year. So they learned a lot about game experience and what commitment it takes to get back to that level, hopefully in the next few weeks here.
Right on. All right. Best of luck. It's going to be awesome. I can just imagine the excitement there in Shaunavon, maybe the Shawnee after for a little post-game meal, if it's still open in Shaunavon. I used to love eating there as well.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Aaron, thanks so much, and best of luck for this one and then going forward.
Thanks so much for having us on here, Barney. Appreciate the plug for the 9-man game in the city and stuff. And again, guys are excited and looking forward to the game Fridays. Thanks again.
Right on. It's Friday night.
That should be a wild one here. Kickoff just, what are we about? Probably 10 minutes away in Shaunavon.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a busy day for high school football all over the place. And today is actually one of the busiest days, but we'll update you. Yesterday, Highway 22 Storm stayed undefeated. They beat Wynyard. Final score was 40-20.
Wagon. Hudson Bradshaw, 3 touchdowns. Hey, they send us in their stats. If you want us to read your stats.
There's some mom keeping stats.
Yeah, it's
we'll
beautiful.
Read them.
Hi at sportscage.com. Jackson Ermel, 16 tackles and an interception. And then Lucas Fry, shout out, 11 tackles for the undefeated Highway 22
Those are like Roland Milligan type numbers. That's like Agent Zero type stuff going on. Wow.
So there is a big game in Regina at 5:15 tonight. It is... It's kind of like the Rush Home Road rivalry in Saskatoon that we're familiar with. It's called the Argyle Battle of Argyle. It's O'Neill versus Tom. So people have messaged in, a couple of guys personally. This hasn't happened for a number of years because they've played in different divisions. So they're like...
This is the street grudge match.
It's like they're a block and 2 blocks apart.
Oh, that's never good.
No, so it's gonna get real. O'Neill and Tom, 5:15 at Mosaic. I'm almost positive it's at Mosaic, and then Sheldon Williams and Johnson at 7:30. Elsewhere, 9-man or 9-a-side. Indian Head, Melville, Benny Walchuk coaching in that, scheming. And Fort Qu'Appelle, Broadview, also a shout-out in Lemberg. Briarcrest is in at 6-a-side. So there's your Friday night lights for Regina Motor Products. $20 off your tire changeover right now. Hour in the books. When we come back after the news, Farhan Lalji, it's the all-new Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's partly cloudy and it's 15 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op Liquor Store. Now open in Harbor Landing and on Rochdale Boulevard, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. On the election front today, Saskatchewan Party leader Scott Moe says he won't hike the small business tax if he's re-elected as Premier on October 28th. Moe says the tax would stay at 1% rather than return to 2% as part of a scheduled increase next year. He says the proposal would help grow the economy. Moe says he would also create a new bursary program for young entrepreneurs to access grants of $5,000. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan's NDP has released its entire platform addressing healthcare, schools, and the economy. Party leader Carla Beck says her plan offers change that is needed to help Saskatchewan hospitals and families. That includes a promised $1 billion over 4 years to help fix healthcare and $2 billion to build more schools and reduce classroom sizes. The provincial election is set for October 28th. After years of rejection, Moose Jaw Police Chief Rick Barassa is hopeful that the police service can finally join the Provincial Internet Child Exploitation Unit. Barassa told the Police Commission that previous government officials had blocked the request, but new ministry leadership may be more open to it. He believes the move would make Moose Jaw's ICE team more effective in fighting child exploitation. The police service is also considering building a new workspace for ICE officers to support their mental health and efficiency. The Minister of Mental Health and Addiction says there are not enough beds in jurisdictions across the country to support involuntary treatment for addictions and mental health. Yara Sachs says healthcare is under provincial jurisdiction and that it's up to the provinces to outline the policies that they see fit. But before they have discussions about compulsory care, she says they need to ensure adequate treatment services are in place. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre said yesterday that he's in favor of mandatory involuntary drug and psychiatric treatment for kids and prisoners who are found to be incapable of making decisions for themselves. The economy added 47,000 jobs in September, while the unemployment rate declined for the first time since January to 6.5%.
The jobs numbers exceeded many forecasts from Bay Street economists. Statistics Canada says full-time employment saw its largest increase since May 2022. However, the employment rate was lower in September as population growth continued to outpace growth in the labor market. Many economists say despite the gains last month, it doesn't change the overall trend of a weakening job market, making the Bank of Canada likely to continue cutting its key interest rate. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
The luxury of Mercedes-Benz has never been more within reach with the fall demo event at Mercedes-Benz Regina. Save up to $32,000 on select models like the luxurious EQE 350. Get the premium performance and elegance Mercedes-Benz is known for, but with unmatched value when you choose certified pre-owned. Take advantage of the opportunity to experience the Mercedes-Benz you've always dreamed of, without compromise. Book your test drive at Mercedes-Benz Regina.
This Turkey Alert is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Food Stores.
Thanksgiving will soon be here.
We hope you'll be surrounded by family and an amazing Thanksgiving feast.
And if you forgot anything at all,
cranberry sauce. People always forget the cranberry sauce.
We're here to help.
From all of our families at Sherwood Co-op to our owners around the dinner table. Happy Thanksgiving. We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Can someone please pass the stuffing?
Now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, thickening cloud with a passing rain shower or two and a low of 4. Tomorrow, increasing sunshine and a high of 13. Sunday, sunshine and 10. And holiday Monday, sunshine and a high of 14. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Whether Smokies after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
You go back and listen to anything you missed in hour one podcast style. Colson will have it buttoned up in there. We had head coach of the Saskatoon Blades, Dan De Silva, and then Friday Night Lights and Shaunavon. They're probably the ball's in the air right now.
Can we, if we can rewind in time and go to listen to a podcast, can we rewind in time to go back to the summer for breaking news? I just said, we were just talking about the NHL games last night, and I'm like, yeah, the Leafs won, so the parade's back on for Leaf Nation. Mm-hmm. And I said they beat their ex-coach. What? I'm like, yeah, Sheldon Keefe is the coach of the New Jersey Devils this year. You did not
I did not know that.
That did not register?
I did not know that. I'm going to take my resume back from the job position opening at the New Jersey Devils because I have no idea.
No, because when he got fired from the Leafs, he did that video on a boat.
I remember that.
And then like a couple days later, he got hired by the Devils. And
missed it.
Yeah, so they won last night, and yeah, so Leafs the parade is back on because they lost their opening night game 1-0 to the Montreal Canadiens, and then like people were already It's funny, everything we were watching yesterday from down east, everyone was panicking already one game in, as they love to do. They hit the overreact and the panic button.
Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks are in Winnipeg this evening to take on the Jets. That'd be a hot ticket.
Here's the thing about the Jets, because you got to know that most players in the NHL, when given that choice, would have them on the no movement clause list.
Oh, absolutely.
Same thing. So when I see the team that they're able to field for probably a ton of guys that, yeah, they're thankful to have a job in the NHL, but they somewhere else or whatever. They were dominant the other night against the Oilers. I think Chicago, and keep in mind, for whatever Chicago was able to add in the offseason and the moves that they did make, I think that Winnipeg, hands down, is the better hockey team.
I expected so much from Winnipeg into the playoffs last year. I'm like, they could be that sneaky, they're good, but not a lot of people are talking about them team.
But there's no way in the world Gary Bettman ever wants the Winnipeg Jets to succeed because it wouldn't pull TV numbers. That's not sexy. You would think you want to see them in the Stanley Cup. No. They have everything stacked against them.
So what do you think tinfoil head? That Bettman walks into a meeting and says, hey, everybody, there's no way. He's not McMahon. This isn't the WWF or E or whatever it's called.
I believe you me. They're sitting around. Would they love to have like the LA Kings and the New York Rangers in the Stanley Cup? But yes. Because it's TV and it's numbers and it's draw.
Oh, for sure. You got to play the odds, though.
So for whatever, I kind of like the Jets. And I don't like the Bombers. I like the Jets because they're kind of an underdog story because no one expects anything out of them. They're not the biggest spending team or whatever. They're just a good hockey team. Vegas, how can you not like the Vegas Golden Knights? They always seem to retool and reload.
I can tell you how people don't like the Las Vegas Golden Knights because they twist the rules with the long-term.
I know.
Well, that's why people hate them.
Well, until they change.
I like them.
I know, me too. Until they change LTIR. Because the other night, did you see Mark Stone and Jack Eichel and Ivan Barbashev on that line? They look good. Tonight, they take on St. Louis. And St. Louis is quietly, as Doug Armstrong as GM, made some moves in the offseason to make themselves a solid team. And if they can kind of stay good when they need to, maybe have a chance to sneak into the playoffs this year. Because a lot of people wrote them off with all of the players they lost. And with the additions that they made, and Doug Armstrong is a smart guy. One of the better GMs.
He's the Oilers, he snagged 2 guys from the Oilers this offseason. He's that guy, I feel when you do that move in the NHL, when you put an offer sheet to restricted free agents and you try and pull them away because it's not, you don't see it happen all that much. I feel that is the exact same as betting $1. on The Price is Right.
Oh,
when everyone else bets.
No, I would bet $1. That's my dream, to be on The Price is Right and to bet $1.
Same guy does, I feel, the same thing.
But if you're a guy, be like, all right, everything I do is about my job always being on the line and we need to win. Of course you're going to do that. And to be like, if those are the rules, just like the LTIR. So anybody like, oh, Vegas is doing this. There's a lot of teams. And Dave and I went through the salary cap implications the other day. Did you know that the Carolina Hurricanes have $3 actual for salary cap room?
Is it 3 or 300?
No, it was $3.
$3.
Yeah, $3. Because Leafs, Canadians, Rangers, there's a bunch of them. There's $0 and LTIR. So there's a lot of people, not just Vegas, that are milking this system so far this year.
There's guys that we've had on the Monday Nooner, and some of them have kind of talked about when teams need to get to the floor and how they just take on contract. There are some things that have gone on, and they kind of they'll go off the record and tell it. It's like, what? That is mind-blowing.
Probably the best thing, just maybe it's because of the owner in Utah and it's early, so we don't want to
backwards hat guy.
Yeah. What's
Ryan Smith?
Ryan Smith. But he's not the Ryan Smith of the Western Hockey League. He's probably, here's the thing with the Utah thing. I doubt with the way that they're going to operate going forward that they're going to be the team that just gets dumped contracts just so they could scrape salary to hit a floor. I think they actually probably want to win and be a contender there.
Well, they're going to be good. And they got a lot of capital and they got a lot of prospects that Arizona has been, I guess, I don't want to say... They just had them dumped on them because they stunk. And everyone wanted to get out. Ekman Larson, see you later, Capital.
Yeah.
The different... there was a lot of moves, and it's like, wow, Arizona's got a lot of draft picks. And then now 5 years later, 4 years later, Utah's got some...
good young talent. And if they don't mismanage it. And then the final...
They have things to give up. If they're close later and there's a couple of guys, maybe they got capital to give up.
And it looks like they have an ownership that has money that's not afraid to spend it because they want to have a winner. And then the final game tonight, the Flyers taking on the Canucks. Now, the other night, and we've had Eric Francis on the show lots, and he said the worst fan base to deal with online are the Vancouver Canucks fans. And the other night, they were getting roasted because Rooney from the Flames, when he got hit in the boards by JT Miller, and it was a clean hockey hit, but he stayed down, and Vancouver fans were chanting JT Miller's name after the hit. And people were like, you're classless, you're clowns, the guy was hurt, it was all that. Well, they didn't know that at the time, so they can't buy a break, but they also don't help themselves either. And you got to give it because JT Miller ended up fighting Anthony Mantha after that. Mm-hmm. But also, if I'm JT Miller, to be like, that's a clean hockey hit, I don't agree with that. JT Miller is too valuable. He breaks his hand in a fight and you lose him for 10 to 15 games. To be like, it's still a hard hitting game. Keep your head up. Okay. Because it wasn't dirty. It was just one of those where you were far enough away from the boards, but you're taught that as a kid, don't put yourself in a bad spot. And Rooney put himself in a bad spot.
Out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, Friday, no better time for Western Pizza. Get that in you, all the Greek favorites you like the souvlaki, the ribs, the salad. Call your local Western Pizza. It's Farhan Lalji. It's Friday. We got the Riders and the Lions, Farhan, coming up tomorrow. Big one, home field on the line. If I'm going to ask you, how do you predict this thing is going to go down? What do you think happens tomorrow at Mosaic Stadium?
Well, I have a hard time betting against Saskatchewan because they've won the last three. I think Trevor Harris has been playing really well during that stretch. They get AJ Ouellette back in the lineup. They get Zach Fry to provide some reinforcements along the offensive line. Mitch Picton might come back. So, and BC's getting some guys back as well. But I just think that Saskatchewan, the way they played the last three games, the Lions, they got a win against Calgary, but they weren't necessarily impressive. They got a couple of defensive plays they made in the fourth quarter, but overall, start to finish, I just think Saskatchewan's been playing better football of late. They're at home, and both teams have a lot at stake, but I would probably give Saskatchewan a bit of an edge in this one.
Who's coming back for BC? Who can we expect to see in the lineup?
Well, a couple of big ones. Jarrell Broxton, who's been their best offensive line this year, he's been out for the last 4 games. He's going to come back, and I think they played this one straight. I thought they might push it a couple of weeks so they can get the cap benefit. And we all know how much the Lions are up against the cap. But Broxton's their best O-lineman, and they need him. So once he got healthy, they put him back in the lineup. So, that's a big deal for them. And Alex Hollins is coming back, and he's been out the last 3 or 4 weeks with a shoulder injury. And he's a player that in the first 5 or 6 games of the year was as good as any receiver in the CFL. Had some drop issues and then got hurt. So now I think the Lions are hoping that they'll get the first 6 weeks of the season, Alex Hollins, as opposed to maybe the last 4 weeks before he got injured, where he was kind of invisible, right? So he certainly has the ability to take a top off a defense and make them better. And then David Mackey, who, isn't listed as a starter, but he plays so much offensively. And he's a guy, especially with Javon Catoy out of the lineup, he does so many of the small things. He's the short yardage quarterback. He can come in and be a fullback and play tight end and stretch the front and still catch the ball and do some things. So he's a really, really versatile piece for them. So to get him back, I think is really important as well.
Farhan, I said on the show yesterday that, yeah, we've all had to play the Stamps, and they're not great. But eventually everybody's due. And I said, if anybody's due to have a good game, because I don't think Nathan Rourke's a bad football player, and I don't think Rick Campbell's a bad coach. They've, for whatever reason, they've hit a skid. Do you think that they're due and potentially the balloon could burst tomorrow and they could get it all together?
Sure. Yeah, it's absolutely possible, because at some point Nathan Rourke is going to get it back. Now, I think that's probably going to be next season, right, when he's got a full off season to digest and has got a training camp and maybe some additional reinforcements in the receiving core. People forget just how good the receivers were in 2022. You no longer have, Burnham and Rhymes and Peak Lucky Whitehead and those guys. So, that was part of the secret sauce at that time for Nathan. So, but I still think the receivers are good enough to win with. Could he explode and have that kind of game? Yes, It's there somewhere in him, but I still think it might take a little bit of time.
Have you seen anything, Farhan, where they've changed the offense a bit or changed the game plan with Nathan since he's coming back, just because maybe there was that rust factor?
Well, I think they've been resisting doing certain things because it's not necessarily the roster that lends itself to certain things. So they want to push the ball down the field. I think Jordan McSimic wants to do that. I think Nathan Rourke wants to do that. But I'm not sure the rest of their group is equipped to do that, right? I mean, like I said, Alex Hollins can stretch a defense. Maybe Stanley Berryhill can from time to time. But the rest of BC's receivers can't do that. And if you're going to play small ball and dink and dunk it a lot, which they've kind of been forced to do, then you better not have any incompletions. You better not have quick pressure and force the quarterback to run around, which has happened from time to time. And you better be able to get yak yardage. And this isn't necessarily the group that can do a lot of that. So it's kind of square peg, round hole in terms of what the defense gives them versus what their strengths are. So I don't know that they've necessarily attempted to do anything different. I think a lot of the play structure has been the same, but I don't think Nathan is seeing the field quite as well. I don't think the receivers can separate as well, and I don't think that collectively they can protect as well, right? So, I mean, protection was an issue 2 years ago. Nathan just made it all look right. Yeah. But, I think he's double clutching a little bit, and I just don't think it's as clean as it looked back then.
So with a home playoff game on the line, and, yes, it's important for Saskatchewan. I think it's even more important for BC since they're hosting the Grey Cup. So if Nathan Rourke has a bad series or a bad first quarter, are you of the mindset that I'd be going to Vernon Adams Jr.? I mean, the guy won you some games. He played some good football. Like, can you keep him stashed on the bench and go through 4 quarters of bad Nathan Rourke? Like, at what point does winning take over, like, the ego, or like, no, there's money invested here, we got to stick with the guy?
The leash might be in the playoffs. I don't see a scenario where it happens this week. And you are right? Like, you make some good points in that, when they brought Nathan Rourke back, my thing was that, okay, well, you're doing this to get a home playoff game because it wasn't going well at that time. And if you can get a home playoff game, then you can recoup some of those dollars that you're going to need to pay both Rourke and Matthew Betts, right? But I just think that it was a mistake when they did it against Toronto. And I don't think Rick Campbell wants to make the same mistake again, because neither quarterback, like, it rattles both quarterbacks, number one. Number two, you throw Vernon Adams in, and he hasn't had practice reps during the week, so that doesn't necessarily put him in the best position to succeed. And it does affect the locker room, sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? So, and it's not a divided room, right? Like, everybody loves Nathan and they love Vernon. And when I say this is not anything disparaging against Vernon. I think Vernon is as good a quarterback as there is in the Canadian Football League, and he'll show that again next season, wherever he winds up. But I just don't think there'll be a leash. I think it'll be Rourke's game to win or lose, and then if it continues to go bad for a couple of weeks, I think they'd revisit it for the playoffs, but not until then.
You got anything more on the Lions Riders? Because I'm shifting to college ball.
Oh,
Let's
college
do
football.
it.
No, let's do it. I'm all in on college ball.
Ohio State, Oregon. Are you making your way down to that one by chance? No?
No, actually, I will be in Calgary for the Edmonton-Calgary game this weekend. Okay. And I am like as big an Oregon hater as there is in like Canada. So because I'm a massive, as you can see, University of Washington fan. Yeah. The Husky helmet is there. That's not a Bombers helmet. It's a Huskies helmet, game worn, given to me by a coach. So I am very much a Huskies fan. I love what they did to Michigan last week. I was at that game, and I wouldn't go. But, you know, I do know what's going on and watch it all fairly closely, and I do think Ohio State's a much better team. Oregon has kind of come to life the last couple of games, but Dylan Gabriel hasn't done what we thought he was going to do. You know, when you see what he's done earlier in his career, I thought he was going to come in here and just set the world on fire playing in that offense. But it hasn't necessarily been a great fit, and they haven't necessarily been as dynamic as they've been in the past. And you look at Ohio State and just how complete that team is. They don't have holes. Incredible receiving core. Not a system group. They're just talented. The quarterback's playing at a high level. The offensive line's good, and the defense doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. So I know it's in Autzen, but I got to put my money on Ohio State.
I can't remember. Do you want to talk about that one? I want to ask him about Alabama.
Well, yeah, I want to get to, because like last weekend was probably one of the most exciting weekends in college football because there were so many upsets. Like the locks didn't lock.
Confusing.
And it was. So tomorrow, and this is, I want to get your take. So number 1, Texas, Steve Sarkisian, former Saskatchewan Roughrider, head coach, Texas Longhorns, taking on number 18, Oklahoma. And it's weird because we'll know that like 1-18 shouldn't be, but it's Oklahoma, Texas. When I was looking at their schedule, I'm like, if there's a chance outside of like an Oklahoma, like Georgia or an Alabama, Georgia situation or whatever, you think this could be the upset special of the weekend if Oklahoma, everything goes right for them?
No, Texas is going to win that game.
Okay.
And, you know, and I've talked to Sark a couple times about his time in Sask, and he doesn't speak of it fondly, which kind of sets me. I don't like that because I love my time in Regina. You know, I would love to see an upset just for that reason, guys.
Okay.
But the talent level in Texas, I mean, there's a gap there. There's a real gap there. You know, both those schools joined the SEC this year, and Texas has a roster that can function there. I'm not sure Oklahoma does, you know, big picture over the course of a full season. So I think Texas is going to win. I think Texas is going to cover.
When is the last time you saw a just as big or bigger upset than Vanderbilt over Alabama last week?
Boy, it would have to be Appalachian State, Michigan, doesn't it? I mean, I was there when Montana beat Washington a couple of years ago when Jimmy Lake tried to submarine the Washington program. And, you know, you get with an FCS school beating an FBS team. It's that level of upset, right? I mean, Clark Lee's a really good coach at Vandy. I don't think he'll be there long because someone else will come in and give him a big number. But I'm a Kalen DeBoer guy. I mean, I hate that he left my team and went to Alabama, even though Washington offered him $9.5 million, and he coached in the national championship game. So but he's a good guy. I got to know him, and I have a difficult time cheering against him. I texted him after the game. Actually, I texted him after the Georgia game, not this game, it was stunning. It was stunning because even Nick Saban would go through this with Alabama where they would play one of these payout games early in the year. And this isn't a payout game. It was a conference game. But they'd play in these games, and all of a sudden that other team would be right in it at the end of the third quarter. And then Alabama would just run away with it. And it even happened in the first couple of games this year where they played some G5 teams, and it was closer than we thought it would be, and Alabama was trailing late, and then all of a sudden they would blow them out. So you just thought that moment was going to come, and it never came. So the celebration in Vandy was epic, and it's good for college football when this stuff happens.
Watching the goalposts being carried from the stadium, what is it, 3.5 miles to Broadway and then into the river? That was the best part of social media after the game, was watching the fans. I can only imagine how heavy those goalposts are.
I'm going back on Thursday, Saturday before the Predators game. I plan on going to see if it's still in the river. I'm going to snap a picture of it. I'm planning. That's awesome. It's something cool. Okay, you know what? You talked about that last weekend. If you've ever been to a Las Vegas sportsbook on a Saturday,
would have been
it would have been
chaos
off the hook with everything that was going on in college football. And I know a guy that was down there. I'm like, dude, embrace this. Okay, quickly before we go, NFL. We got Lions at Dallas, Bills at Jets, Washington, Baltimore. What game are you intrigued of this week?
I'm really intrigued by Washington-Baltimore. I just want to see if Jaden Daniels can do it against that defense. And he's had some good performances against good teams, but
this is a real team.
Yeah, loved what he did in college, and certainly, I thought Penix should have won the Heisman, but I thought Daniels was great. I'm biased when it comes to Washington, as you know, but what he's done this year has been fantastic. It really has. But this is a real big-time defense, and I know that Baltimore's had their warts this year at times, but I think they're going to be up for this. I think they do well against mobile quarterbacks that way, and I'm curious to see what Daniels can do against this team, because that would be the ultimate asset test. We'll talk about him as an MVP candidate, not just a Rookie of the Year candidate, right? So good for him. It's good for the league to have guys come in and set the league on fire.
So here's what I don't get. So I thought they brought Nathaniel Hackett to the New York Jets because of Aaron Rodgers to be the play caller, and then I was reading on social media this morning, Nathaniel Hackett demoted, and they promoted somebody else to be the play caller. Aaron's only going to get so many chances before people are going to say, dude, this is a bit of a you problem, not necessarily an everybody else problem.
Fair. You can't say last year was a you problem because he didn't play all year.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, sure.
But, when you look at Nathaniel Hackett, obviously things kind of were a disaster for him in Denver. And then he comes in there and, obviously the relationship with he and Aaron is pretty good. And you would have thought that it would have fit and that Aaron would have had the input that he wanted. And he did, right? But that's not always a good thing. But, wow, it just feels like the Jets aren't going to salvage this. Right, you needed a bit of stability after what happened last year. I think this season's going to be another tire fire for every Jets fan out there, and it'll be the last for Aaron Rodgers in the Big Apple.
We were talking about it. What's Thanksgiving with the Lalji household? What do you guys make, like a nice Thanksgiving supper or anything, or you just flat out
do, and
whatever?
we spend a lot of time across the border, so we will get both Thanksgiving. So that's the best part of our life.
Veteran.
You said something, you let it slip by, and I feel bad. I don't want to pass on condolences, but did you say correctly that your schedule, you have to do the Edmonton-Calgary game this weekend? That's not dessert with whipped cream on it. I'm going to say that's some hard yards. That's some dry turkey without a glass of cheap wine to wash down.
Calgary's a great city, but I would much rather spend Saturday in Regina. Britt Dort's going to be on the sidelines patrolling. So, I'm going in for the day because my son plays tonight. He's got a game here in Washington, and then I'm going to go to the airport and fly out in the morning. So I'll just be in and out the same day in Calgary. And then I've delayed my flight so that I can watch the entire BC-Saskatchewan game at the lounge in Calgary Airport tomorrow because I don't want to miss any of that. So then I'll take the last flight after home.
You know what's going on. It's always okay.
That could be a tough game to watch. But hey, credit to you, my man. You're a pro.
Hard.
Someone's got to do it.
Bonus,
got to do it, guys.
Bonus time, or what do they call that? Not danger pay, but close to. Okay, Farhan, have a good weekend. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Farhan Lalji from TSN joining us here on the all-new Sportscage and the home of the Riders and 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sportscage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090. Rider Nation, the all-new Sportscage is bringing you Cooperators Rough Rider football like never before. Now, for every home game, you can watch the Rider Radio live stream on our Sportscage YouTube channel. Saturday, the Riders take on the Lions. The live stream starts at 2 with Countdown to Kickoff, brought to you by Croft Electric. And we wrap up the game with a Sportscage Radio Roundtable, brought to you by McDougall Auction. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And don't miss a minute of our Rider Radio live stream.
When it comes to duct cleaning, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll clean out the dust and debris that builds up over the summer. When you need protection, they offer a monthly plan for homeowners to get regular service done on their AC and furnace, as well as plumbing. And when it comes to furnace servicing, it's never too early to get that done too. Bronco will service your furnace and have you ready to go before winter hits. Consider it today, so you can rest easy tomorrow. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com.
Enjoy a feast of deals on your favorite gear at the Thanksgiving sale, on now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Save more on your favorite outdoor activities with deals on hunting, camping, and ice fishing gear from brands like Tacticam, Bradley, Eskimo, and more. And get additional firearm storage with the trusted, electronically secured Cabela's 34-gun navy blue safe. Now $650 off. Explore the outdoors this fall and save at the Thanksgiving sale, on now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. See online for more details.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Saskatoon area, call Kurt at Canadian Timber Homes or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
In town, at the cabin, or on the farm, only one rural internet provider brings you a whole home solution. Access Rural Internet now offers download and upload speeds up to 350 megs for one low price. Plus, keep entertained with Access Next TV Stream, and keep an eye on your home and property with Access Rural Security, each for just $14.95 a month extra. Get more from your rural internet service. Visit myaccess.ca today.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Hi, this is Stephen Arndt from the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan. We're the ones responsible for recycling your tires. We're a non-profit corporation that was established to serve as the scrap tire recycling program operator in Saskatchewan, approved by the Ministry of the Environment. We're responsible to all stakeholders, including consumers who pay the tire environmental fee, the collectors, the Ministry of the Environment, and the people of Saskatchewan. Visit tssk.ca to see how you can recycle your tires.
There she is, there.
What are you waiting for?
Gun's jammed.
We better get to TNT Gunworks.
TNT Gunworks in Regina is your trusted source in Saskatchewan for guns, ammunition, hunting supplies, and has an on-site gunsmith that services rifles and shotguns. They've got the biggest selection and the best price.
Ah, son of a gun.
That's the spirit.
Stop in at TNT Gunworks just off Albert on 4th Avenue North, Regina.
When most people look at windows, they look right through them. When the guys at North Home Windows look at windows, they see a chance to improve the efficiency and comfort of your home. They know old windows are drafty. If your windows are old and drafty, call North Home Windows. They're built in Saskatchewan for Saskatchewan conditions, meaning you'll get the perfect window for your home. And if you call now, you can still book a summer or fall installation. 1-866-362-6525. northhomewindows.ca.
All-new Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
Oh, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy
Good touch.
anniversary, happy anniversary. For a cheerful toast and fill it, happy anniversary. But be careful.
Good one. That's a surprise. That was the Flintstones.
The double C's over there.
The Flintstones
dropping
are so
their
good.
influence in the show. It's Barney's, you said 16th wedding anniversary today?
16 years in the books.
It's just a child.
I did not think 10 was achievable. 16? If you would have told me. Brian Munns is in town, former SJHL play-by-play guy, Prince Albert Raiders, Winnipeg Jets,
No.
Manitoba Moose.
Hold on.
Edmonton Roadrunners.
Did you hear this story? This came up yesterday. Barney had no idea that Leon Draisaitl played for the Raiders.
That's not the story. I don't remember
He
it.
doesn't remember him being in the Western Hockey League.
Okay, for the judge, the jury, and the executioner, I was listening in Winnipeg during this conversation. I was yelling at my radio at you. And my 13-year-old kid who I had just picked up from school with the time change, it works out great because there's no sports radio. And because Barney and I go back, well, you say 16 years of anniversary, we're what? Probably 30 years in life?
Long time.
Since you've been doing this, I'll eavesdrop 2 or 3 times a week. And I happen to be listening to that. I was very disappointed in you.
Don't remember him playing there. Is it that big of a
But
deal?
you're like a Blade guy, so...
But a Blade guy it's an hour up the road, Prince Albert. 12-13. Where was I in my life? I was already in Regina in 12-13.
So you would have seen him coming in against the Pats.
And they would
Josh Morrissey's
on that team. Who else do I know on this? Not a lot of names out there I recognize.
You didn't know Sheldon Keefe was the coach of the New Jersey Devils.
Real quick. Mark McNeil was their captain. He was like a 9th overall pick, I believe, by Chicago. Didn't really go anywhere after that.
Then his second season. Why are we wasting so much time on that? I don't remember Leon Draisaitl as a Prince Albert Raider. Do you remember Pavel Brendel?
Yeah, played for the Calgary Hitmen.
He played when I was doing Raider games.
You know, let's go down this here. Do you know who one of the best WHL players I ever remember watching live was? Mike Comrie. When he came back from Michigan
with the Kootenay Ice,
and he went to Kootenay, and I was working in Swift, and then I remember going, and then they ended up, I don't know if they played him in the playoffs that year, but he was so good. Brendel was good, but he was floaty McFloaterton out there.
And he scored 50.
Played one side of the ice.
Yep. Dominant WHL player.
Who do you guys remember? You called a lot of games.
Well, you're looking at a kid who thought the Western Hockey League was the NHL.
Yeah, but I same way. There's a couple of names that stand out. Remember Andy McIntyre from the Saskatoon Blades? This is a long time ago. He was a dominant junior player, and then I don't know whatever happened. I mean, not everybody becomes a star in the NHL. But remember when we interviewed him a few months back? It was Frank.
Oh, you're talking Frank Banham.
Frank Banham.
Number 17.
Yeah. God,
Yellow visor.
He was good. He was so good in the dub, and then he went on to have like a
30. No, what
30
number?
was 39.
39 went to the rafters. 39.
No, McIntyre was 17. I think.
But you liked McIntyre over Banham?
No, but it just guys that stood out over time for being just dominant Western Hockey League players like a Pavel Brendel that for whatever happens, and once you leave the dub or junior hockey, anything could happen. But
so I was born in Regina, was here till grade 8. Mike Sillinger, Frank Kovacs, Jamie Heward.
Yep.
I could
pup line?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys were God to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could give you that whole Trent Katcher just lived around the corner from us. Brad Miller, the defenseman, went to Buffalo. Rod Hauk was the goalie.
Oh, Haukster, beauty.
Trent Katcher, Milan Dragocevic, Jim Matheson. Like I can give you all of those years when I was an elementary school kid. And again, yeah, you go to the odd NHL game, but when I had season tickets for the Pats, I won the lottery. So it's even cool coming back years later when I was the voice of the Raiders, or I'm going to go to the game for at least a couple periods tonight. It's just fun going back into that rink.
It's different because everything is on the line as opposed to when you get into especially NHL games where it's different. It's at a different level and they play for different things. But junior hockey, whether it's SJ or it's dub, this is everything, and you can tell there's guys fighting every shift to be like, no, I want to make this my life, and I'll do anything and everything I can to make that. You don't necessarily see that in the pros. Let's say mid-January, February on a Tuesday night, and it's where it's like everybody's going through the motions. That's why I'll always be a huge fan of junior hockey.
What was the last year you called SJHL?
2000. Because I was in Melfort from 95 to 2000.
Royal Bank Cup?
No, that was in...
that was
my first year. That was my very first year of calling SJHL hockey. And they hosted the RBC Cup in Melfort. So I thought all you did was jump on the bus with a team that wins every night.
How good was that team?
Actually, I just talked to Kevin Dickey this week.
Yeah.
He was the head coach. Willie Mitchell was the star. Went on to play New Jersey, Minnesota.
Who was the
won
blade?
2 cups with the Kings.
Who was the blade that...
Jason Duda.
Duda. Went and tore it up. Curtis Dole was good.
Scott Fankhauser was the goalie.
Frankhauser, that was the goalie.
Drafted by Atlanta.
Trevor Blevins, local guy.
He's the head coach now.
Third, fourth line pit bull out there. That's what I was going to ask you. Melfort last year goes to the Natty.
Yes.
Blevs gets that thing done. They're in Flin Flon this evening. So they're doing they did the Hanson Lake Road already. It's a beautiful out. I'm sure driving up north right now. I wanted to ask you, what was the sketchiest trip up to like the Flon or somewhere that you ever remember?
Outside of hitting the ditch?
No, yeah.
I remember there was one road trip, and actually I'm going to Nipawin in a couple weeks. They're going to retire Greg Clausen's jersey, local guy.
Okay, yep.
And we hit the ditch one night, and we were going slowly. It was a skating rink. Probably shouldn't have been on the highway, but we did it anyway. And again, we literally just slid off. Like the front tires got 2 feet off, so it wasn't like going to be very bad or anything like that. But I would remember that. We hit lots of deers over the year, and they smell after a while.
That's
fur gets into the front of the bus.
Here's the Unsung Hero Award.
Bus driver?
The bus drivers.
Oh, no question.
My Uncle Ken was a driver for PA Northern for years. He used to drive the raid to all teams, from old people to casinos in the States to hockey teams and you name it. Those guys are unsung heroes because, well, the weather's bad. Well, we have no choice. We have to go.
Yeah.
And it's up to you to get us there. And he talked about it, and I'm like, man.
And they obviously get you there. They've got their couple hours. I laugh. Like when I was doing SJ games, a lot of the bus drivers would do color with me for 2 periods, and then I got to go have a nap for half an hour, 40 minutes, because then you're jumping on the old iron lung again for another 2-3 hours if you're on a road trip.
Well, didn't Bob Ridley from Medicine Hat drive the bus and do play-by-play for the Tigers, right?
There's an episode we did on the Monday Nooner. If anyone ever wants to go listen to that, and Bob takes us through how he did it. Because he would do play-by-play and then drive the bus. And I think there was a story that he talks about like Prince George to somewhere where it was really iffy. But yeah, like that is unheard of, doing color even. Like those guys, you need to get your shut-eye. Getting some text messages in here about that Melfort team, the wagon. Forgot about Ryan Homestall.
Homer, yeah.
Colin Anderson from Regina.
Yes.
On that team. This guy here saying he thinks almost everybody on that team got a Scully. Not Blevs.
Barney Shinkaruk said that, not myself. Yeah, they would have been close. Joel Lang was the other goalie.
They were there was one of the best, probably, Saskatchewan Junior A teams.
It was a Western Hockey League team. It wasn't, and hey, I did 5 years in the SJ. I grew up in Humboldt from grade 9 on. I'm not a Junior A or WHL guy. I'm a junior hockey guy.
Mm-hmm.
But that team in Melfort that year was not a Junior A team. It was a Western Hockey League team.
What was the...
Daryl Andrews was a defenseman. He got drafted by Jersey, I believe, as well.
Yep.
He was 6'4", 2-something.
And then they lost.
To Vernon.
No business beating
Troy
him.
Mick, the former Pat.
Troy Mick. Jeff Cheeseman was on the...
Todd Lauren was their goalie.
I always wondered about those stacked BC teams once you'd get to the RBC Cup or whatever, because as a huge fan of college football and cheating and scandals and money under the table, to be like, how can it be so stacked sometimes?
Brent Dodging Horse?
Yes.
I started that year playing in BC. Played against Vernon. They were an absolute wagon. But Melfort was the way better team.
Melfort beat Vernon during the round robin. The Mustangs went undefeated going in. And I still say this to that day. If they could have reversed that game in round robin and lost, and just had that little bit of, oh, maybe we can be touched.
Humility.
Yeah.
Dickie?
Like, I'm not going to say they went in overconfident, but there's always that, it never hurts to lose the odd time.
Did a little pod on this team. Dickie, I think it was Anderson. It was a bunch of the guys. Frank Hauser. He falls on the sword. He said he just didn't scout him enough. They weren't prepared enough. And it's the one.
That's just Dixby. I don't know. I wouldn't.
They had no business losing that. That was just one of those things.
But it was a 2-1
where
hockey game.
It's like Belarus beating Sweden.
It's a 2-1 hockey game. Is what it is.
WHL. Your years in the dub. Was PA ever a wagon?
No, we were terrible. My first year, they won 13 games.
Who was coaching that squad?
Donnie Clark.
Donnie Clark, yeah.
Rick Villette was our GM. Wade Klippenstein was our assistant. And then, you guys just had Clipper on the show down in Notre Dame there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Head man in charge of all hockey.
Yeah, like 12 or 13. I actually had texted him after because the good friends we are. I haven't talked to him for a couple years now. I saw him when he was scouting for Colorado, and then you know what it's like. You lose touch for a couple years. I had no idea he was in Notre Dame until I saw him on your show. It's like, how did this happen? So it was great to catch up with him. But, it's fun when you look back, and I think that's the neat part now. And Barney, you and I do this all the time. If we're talking golf, it's the people you're involved with, and it's more of the stories off the ice and what you're doing away from the arena that really stands out. Even the last 2 years when I was doing games with the Winnipeg Ice before they left to Wenatchee, Connor Geeky's going to play his first NHL game tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning in Carolina. So for the last 2 years that he played in junior, other than the year in Swift Current, that's kind of a proud papa moment a little bit for me. I was texting with his dad today, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to Raleigh and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool to watch these guys move on.
Biggest knob on the top of his hockey stick
I've
ever seen for a junior hocky player. My son noticed it last year when we watched.
It's like a puck, literally.
Yeah, it's a puck at the top. We got to take a quick break. Stick around here, Munzie. We got one more segment left in this hour. It's the all-new Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
You get home from work, and as soon as you open the door, you realize,
oh, this place smells like
shocking surprise. You've got sewer problems. Let's be honest, sewer problems literally stink. You need to call someone who will get your sewer situation all sorted out. You need the sewer experts at Bronco Plumbing and Heating. They're number one in the number two business. Bronco Plumbing and Heating, serving Regina, Moose Jaw, and the surrounding area. 306-781-2090. Give them a call. They'll treat you right.
The government just asked us to save the world. They'll do it. They've made a few requests, so they want you to bring back floppy disks, pet rocks, and they all want Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Well, that last one we can do.
You don't want to miss a thing. That's why at Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, they have so much to offer, like SaskTel wireless internet. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
It's been a long day. I don't want to cook. I'm going to surprise the family with a pizza night. I'll be a hero. My family might actually pick me up in celebration and carry me around the kitchen, and they'll chant my name, and I'll be celebrated until the end of time when I...
This isn't Western pizza. I thought you loved us.
Don't pizza fail. Get what they want. It's gotta be Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
Today's high-torque trucks generate a lot of wear on your tires. That's why Michelin recommends the Michelin Defender LT XMS tire. It's built with stronger, advanced compounds that hold up to tougher conditions longer. Whether you're meeting the demands on the job site or hauling your boat to the lake, turn to the experts at Quality Tire with 9 locations in Saskatchewan to find the right Michelin tire for you.
Based on resistance to gravel and severe wear testing compared to Michelin LTX MS2. See Michelin.ca for details.
QualityTire.ca. Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality.
In the Fort Capel area, Melville, and Yorkton, call Calvin at 99 Builders.
Or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Step right up.
to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
The NDP's radical, reckless agenda would crash Saskatchewan's economy and kill thousands of jobs. They would destroy our oil and potash industries, just like they did before. The NDP would drag Saskatchewan back to decline instead of growth, back to losing people, jobs, and opportunities, and back to closing schools and hospitals and letting our highways crumble. Don't let the NDP take us back. Don't let them crash Saskatchewan. Authorized by the Chief Official Agent for the Saskatchewan Party.
The all-new Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Capital Ford Lincoln text line, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer, Capital Ford, 936-6262. I got a happy anniversary shout out, so thank you. Kim sent that in as well.
Was she at your wedding?
I don't think so. But a question from somebody else is how many tickets are sold for tomorrow? So I'm going to Maddie Young here on Twitter.
I thought it was 27,000 change.
27.2 as of 3 hours ago. Maddie hasn't updated it. 3,600 remaining.
And if I can, real quick, shout out to Craig Reynolds and the entire staff. Why I'm here this weekend is they donated a package to the Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tournament that Jared Bednar and I host every summer since the bus accident. And we've got a family coming in, the Failer family from Lanigan.
Shout out Pirates.
Yes. Mom, Dad, I believe it's an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old. Cool. Couple boys are going to come watch the game tomorrow, get down on the sidelines before the game, meet some of the players. Humboldt's own Kelly Bates is one of the coaches for the Lions, so we've got a little meet and greet, and then actually they're going to come up to the booth and see Dave and Luke at halftime, and they're going to zip over and see Rod and Suits in the TSN booth as well. So
that's a cool prize.
Yeah.
So
good
again, job on the
huge
Riders.
thanks to the Riders for putting that together for us.
It's a big one though, right? It's for home. It's
home field, baby.
Home playoff date. You know what that's like in Sasky.
Cold.
Could be. This climate change.
It's not
thing.
warmer in Winnipeg, though. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. By the way, golf courses. All of them are closing Monday in and around Regina. That's sad. Because September is like the weather is shifted. However, like look at today. It's beautiful. Tomorrow for football, it's awesome. Like you said, Maz.
We're on borrowed time sometimes.
We've talked about it in 2 weeks when BC comes back here. They might be toque and parka.
But this is when the Prairie teams have their advantage.
You'd think.
Right? Like they're used to it. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially as it looks, it'll be BC, whether it's here or there.
Yep.
But the Lions aren't going to want to play as much outside here as what the Riders will. And then obviously Winnipeg's waiting for the following week.
Yeah, that's a whole other situation. So some people will be like, oh, first place, because it would be season series. The Lions, if the Lions win tomorrow, season series is 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be the deciding factor. But it's funny, that crazy tie that we had from Ottawa may be our saving grace here for depending how this goes, because if everybody wins out...
God bless the tie.
God bless the CFL tie. Maybe, and what was it, a conspiracy theory, Arash Madani yesterday with Randy Ambrosi or whatever, so maybe...
Possibly the line of the year.
Maybe Randy was doing us a favor. We just didn't know it at the time. We just had to... You don't know how this is going to play out, so just maybe simmer before you pass judgment. This point may be very, very important to you.
Tinfoil heads are out. Let's just win... Get that home playoff game, and then what is it about a schmill that it helps the bottom line having a home playoff game. So
just the excitement in this, not only the city, the province.
Yeah.
All my people are still here. We talk all the time, and within the first 5 minutes of the conversation, somehow it comes up to the Roughriders.
Yeah.
So
because
you want it to happen.
Plaza of Honor last night, Durant goes in, but remember in the 2013 playoffs, because Darian put the team basically on his shoulders. Remember in that game against BC, they were losing. They weren't winning that whole game. They had to come back. The thing is, if you don't get in, you don't even give yourself a chance to even do that.
And people were like messaging, and I think it was last week's Collins show after the game that somebody messaged, or maybe it was a text, that there was this like Winnipeg and Montreal are in a different class, a different league. So whatever happens in the playoffs, I'm like, can you go back and look at the scores? There was like a 4-point game, a 2-point game. They're not in a different league. It's get in, and anything can happen in football. Like the Regina Thunder playing Sunday against the Calgary Colts in the PFC semifinal, 1 p.m. kickoff. They're probably going to smash the Colts, but it's football. Anything can happen on a collision course to play the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Well, look at that game.
Vanderbilt,
Alabama. Okay, but look at the game against Winnipeg. If that punt doesn't get mishandled and then go into the end zone for a touchdown, like I said, it's a whole different one play. And what do they say? It's 3 to 5 plays a game that decide the outcome of the game. So yeah, exactly. So yeah, Vanderbilt, Alabama, which is
legendary in Saskatchewan.
People like,
do you ever call any nine man or 9-a-side football?
Did we do? When I started in Melfort, I would assume we lost the 9-man provincial high school football final in 1993 to the Melville Cobras.
They don't rebuild, they reload.
Right, apparently. Against, when I was there, it was Leeson and the Hudson Bay Riders.
Ooh.
That guy was unbelievable.
Darryl Leeson?
Darryl Leeson.
Oh, he was such a legend. Remember when he got to university?
Whatever happened to him?
Well, his kid played in Prince Albert. I bet you knew that.
Yeah.
Right after Leon Draisaitl.
Big Raider guy over here from the 13-14. Munzie, thanks so much for stopping by.
Hey, good to see you guys. This is awesome, and it's fun to watch what you guys have been able to do from afar. The building in here looks really good. Love the televisions. Love the Raider retro hat that's in the corner. Cameras probably don't get that.
No.
You should bring that down at some point.
That one probably doesn't fly in the world we live in today.
No, that's from courtesy of Cliff Mapes and Curtis Hunt.
Cliffy would look at after you on that.
Yeah,
no, it's awesome. Pat's game tonight, Rider game tomorrow. What a weekend! And had Mr. Sub for lunch. Can't go wrong.
Mr. Sub, shout out. No,
we don't have that in Winnipeg anymore. So
you probably do. It's just down some weird one way.
No,
you haven't gone down.
There's 1 million people live in Winnipeg, and we don't have a Mr. Sub.
Brian Munz, he'll be back. We'll get you back on here, Munzie. We got to go to break. Got to go to news. When we come back after the break, hour 3 is going to start with Luke Mullender. It is the all-new Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every game, home or away. And don't wait for the last minute. Get in on the amazing early bird prizes. Everything raised is used to support minor football in Saskatchewan. Support a great cause and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Sponsored by ISC.
Be prepared for what Mother Nature throws at us because we never know what kind of wild weather is in store. Shorty Generators is authorized and trained to service all the major home standby generators, offering the largest selection of generators in Saskatchewan. Generac, Kohler, Champion, Cummins, and Briggs & Stratton. Now is the time to get your generator serviced and ready for the upcoming storm season. To book your service or to learn more about generator maintenance, visit shortygenerators.ca. The generator experts.
Winter brings tougher driving weather, and that means it's time to winter up those tires on your vehicle. Regina Motor Products has got an offer that will make your ride safer and your wallet happier. Before you hit the snowy open road, get your tires swapped for winter, with rebates as high as $120 off a full set of winter tires. You don't want to wait. Book now and be ready for all that cold stuff. Visit rmpchevrolet.com.
Save big this Thanksgiving with deals from the Wild Turkey Weekend Sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Grill, smoke, seal, and more with up to 40% off select food prep and cooking gear. Stock up on angling essentials with up to 40% off select fishing. And bundle up for outdoor fun with up to 25% off select apparel. Gobble up great deals at the Wild Turkey Weekend Sale. On now at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. See online for more details.
It's time to bring the thunder. The Regina Thunder are back in action this Sunday at 1 p.m. as they host the Calgary Colts. Come out Sunday afternoon and cheer on your Regina Thunder for this PFC semifinals playoff game as they aim to dominate the Colts. Advance tickets are available at reginathunder.ca or can be purchased at the gate. Kickoff is 1 p.m. at Live Oak Field. Regina Thunder football. Bring the thunder.
LDC Yorkton is expanding to meet the canola needs of tomorrow. When you call Louis Dreyfus, you get a name you know and trust. A combined 150 years experience with our marketing team. LDC have canola delivery options that get you in and out in the month you contract, plus paper blend moisture and green. Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, 1-877-782-8882. That's 1-877-782-8882. Or visit ldcyorkton.com.
Step right up to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln. See the amazing weekly Ringmaster specials. Find a better deal on any new Ford and we'll give you $1,000 in cold hard cash. Introducing Cash for Clunkers, guaranteeing a minimum $3,000 for your trade. Bring the whole family down for food, games, and your chance to win thousands in amazing prizes. Hurry, hurry, hurry to the greatest auto sale at Capital Ford Lincoln.
With over 380 conveniently located cardlock locations, Co-op offers the largest cardlock network in Western Canada. Count on us to keep you fueled 24/7. Right from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, through to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and all points in between.
Good evening. It's partly cloudy and it's 14 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The temperature is climbing on the campaign trail. In today's campaign notebook, Sask Today's John Cairns looks at allegations from the former Speaker of the Legislature leveled against the party he used to belong to.
The provincial election campaign got heated this week.
It speaks to the lack of leadership of Premier Scott Moe that there's never anything done with individuals that do these things.
Randy Weeks was blasting his old party. He accused the Sask Party's David Buckingham of using a racial slur in caucus. Buckingham is running in Saskatoon Westview. He has apologized for the incident. As for Weeks, he's endorsing the NDP.
I have endorsed Carla Beck and the NDP.
Meanwhile, healthcare is still a major focus on the campaign trail. The NDP's Carla Beck again pledged $1.1 billion for the healthcare system. Scott Moe, meanwhile, is supporting increased tax credits for those with disabilities. And Moe wants to extend coverage for glucose monitoring.
Listen to the campaign notebook Wednesdays and Fridays on 620 CKRM, and for more, go to sasktoday.ca. The Regina Police Service is urging residents to take precautions against vehicle thefts this fall. In the past week, there were 30 reports of thefts from vehicles, with 16 of those due to unlocked doors. Stolen items included electronics, tools, and personal documents. 6 cases of credit or bank card tap theft were also reported. Police remind everyone to lock their vehicles, remove valuables, and report suspicious activity by calling 306-777-6500 or 911 in emergencies. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says his heart goes out to the family of the Canadian who was killed in ongoing fighting in Lebanon. Trudeau is calling for an end to the violence, saying a ceasefire is needed in both Lebanon and Gaza, alongside more humanitarian aid, the release of hostages, and a credible path towards a two-state solution. Global Affairs Canada has confirmed 3 Canadians have died in Lebanon recently. That includes a couple whose son said were caught in an hours-long traffic jam trying to escape the violence in southern Lebanon. Yesterday's Israeli airstrike in Lebanon's capital that killed 22 people marked the deadliest attack on central Beirut in over a year. And Sebastian Stan is a young Donald Trump in The Apprentice. The film follows Trump's journey to become the man we know him as today, though his beginnings as the protege to attorney Roy Cohn, played by Jeremy Strong. Strong says he doesn't really see Cohn as a victim.
This is probably a controversial statement, but I don't see him as a villain. I don't really see anyone as a hero or a villain. I think that that's a false dichotomy. He's certainly complex, but I approach him the same way I approach any character I've ever played. And I've played people who people think are despicable, and I've played people who people think are, wonderful.
The Apprentice is in theaters today.
That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when Uh-oh.
There are some things that can get spoiled. A sunny day, maybe.
Aw, and no umbrella or anything.
And then there's Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer, where they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features. With such a wide selection and so many great plans, nothing can spoil it.
Yay, rain!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Husqvarna wants you to remember when you were a kid, watching Switchback in the nice warm house while your parents were outside shoveling snow.
Make it quick, I'm watching Switchback.
Well, now that you're the adult and shoveling snow is still a drag, get yourself a Husqvarna snowblower from the local team at Prairie Land Rentals. This is no big box store. You deal directly with the owner, who knows Husqvarna, and a guy who would always answer, make it quick, I'm watching Switchback. Prairie Land Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather, brought to you by Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service. For all electrical needs, croftelectric.com and all socials. Now, here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Some cloud cover through the night. A couple of sprinkles are possible too. Shouldn't be much as far as measurable rainfall goes, but it is going to be just a little bit soggy into the morning hours. Cloud cover will linger just a bit, and then we'll see increasing sunshine through the day. And once we break through this cloud cover, there is a lot of dry weather ahead. Temperature is not bad. Night times are going to be a little bit frosty, but the daytimes near to above normal. In fact, getting back to well above normal as we get into the new week. Overnight, temperature near 4. The wind picks up as the sky clears through the day on Saturday. Northerly wind 20 to 35 through the afternoon. The high at 13. The wind will back down for Saturday night, a clear sky, but we do get below the freezing mark. Certainly not uncommon for this time of year. In fact, the normal low is -2. And on Sunday, we're back up to around 10 with a sunny sky. Monday looks decent, sunshine, not the warmest of days, but it is above normal at 14. The warmer days, well, they're timed back in for the shortened work week, up to around 17 Tuesday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 13, Swift Current 11, Assiniboia 12, Yorkton Melville 11, Moosomin Broadview 12, Estevan 15, and Weyburn is 14. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy, winds are from the southeast at 21, and it's 15 degrees. Regina is partly cloudy, winds are from the south at 17, and it's 14 degrees. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
One more hour of the Sports Cage coming at you in preparation of the big game tomorrow, Mosaic Stadium. It's Barney Shinkera, Chris Mazurek, Colson, and Curtis. What do you call them? Double C's?
The double C's.
The double C's on the other side of the board are with us. Thanks to everyone. Another happy anniversary message. Roscoe chimed in. Did you see this picture that Roscoe sent in the other day, Maz?
I think you're pandering to the crowd to get people to say happy anniversary.
Check out this. The Northern Lights have been absolutely crazy. Last night, everybody on social media. But look at this one that he sent in with the combine, and this is from like last week.
Right. See, here's the thing. It's funny with agriculture. So that's a John Deere combine. So you're either green, red, or blue. Massey, John Deere, or New Holland.
Isn't that Kloss big nowadays, though, too? Starting to come on?
Yeah, and but it's funny. So that's a good looking machine.
Those are awesome. Awesome pictures.
There was a few funny ones floating around today. I saw early in the morning.
Yeah.
There was a few.
Yeah.
Depending on who you follow on social media, I'm like, that is brilliant Photoshop, but come on now. That is almost offending community standards on the internet.
Our high school...
Oh, speaking of the internet, did you see those robots that Elon Musk unleashed yesterday? Those people, like they're humans, like they're Tesla robots. They're going to cost you $30,000. They'll do anything. Walk your dog, cut the grass, do the dishes. Like full on, it's like an episode of Star Wars. Did you not see that?
No.
And then their stock, I got a thing today, and trust me, I'm not Mr. Stock guy. Their stock went down 10%. No, we'll pull this up. Curtis over there, he's probably, we'll pull this up. It's crazy.
Let me get this straight. Soon we're going to have robots that are able to do
they're
whatever.
already here.
But we still can't get an overpass or an underpass on Ring Road in Regina.
And I can't get cell service 20 minutes outside of the city.
I don't get it. Like that is one of the weirdest things, man. How the biggest what is it called? Thoroughfare roadway in the city gets stopped daily a number of times and then when it's the Canpotex, the big whatever they haul in those gray, and it's the slow moving train, it's like, what is going on? It's 2024. We can't have an over or an under. Like I said before, get it sponsored. Branding rights.
And I don't know, was there a convention somewhere about 10 years ago that all like civil planners went to everywhere in the world to be like, you know what the world needs more of? Traffic circles. Nobody needs a traffic circle. A four-way stop works. Everybody's good. Traffic circles, they're confusing. But I agree on the overpass, underpass to be like someone's like, at the time it was a good idea, but over the years when you start building all the other ones to be like, we should eventually, it's like lights that, don't have a left-hand turn arrow. Like, what are you doing? You can change this, right?
Can we not just have one side sponsored by GB Construction or whoever digs it, and then the other side can be sponsored forever? Can you please build us this overpass? The other thing is zipper merge.
People don't know how to do that. Oh, so if you're watching the stream, there's these robots that Elon Musk built. So this is...
I thought that was Luke Mullender. I did. I was like, oh, Luke's on? Oh, no, it's a robot.
No, that's freaky. They're going to be, he said, between 20 and 30 grand.
Look like stormtroopers.
They do. And that's what he said. It's like stormtroopers. So there's this giant launch event last night, and it's here. Well, it's not, it's coming. It's here. And the other thing, too, speaking of getting stuff done, since it's an election season here, and you were going, I don't know what political road you were going down the other day, but it doesn't matter because there's 10 people running for mayor in Regina. The provincial election's on. No matter what it is, if I thought something was an issue or a thing that people got mad at, I would promise a fix. So like you, if I was running for, I don't care if I'm running for MLA or mayor, I'd be like, I'm going to build 2 underpasses at this intersection, whether or not you follow through on it.
Just lie.
The fact that you're just promising to be like, I'm going to fix every problem probably the city has.
My wife pointed out the other day that one of the candidates running for mayor,
there's 10 of them. Dancing Bob's one.
Massive spelling mistakes on whatever the thing is. She was pointing it out, and I'm not I got the worst spelling around.
I know, that's why I had to tell you what Grammarly was. If you're not great with grammar, there's something that's called Grammarly, and there's a free version and a paid version. If you've ever sent an email to anybody in the world after you get Grammarly, you're going to email back and apologize for how bad it was.
I'm just going to have one of those robots do all my writing soon once I get one, so I'll be taken care of. But back to the zipper merge thing. I would like to have some sort of camera on the zipper merge on Ring Road in Regina because people don't get it and they think it's a game. You're supposed to use both lanes. You're supposed if you're driving on it right now, you're supposed to use both lanes and then one in, one out.
No,
one
stop
in.
completely and then don't go until you think it's safe so you can back up every car behind you. Because there's always that one driver to be like, oh, this must be a complete zipper. No, that means stop. I'm going to stop and I'm going to completely tie up traffic.
Yesterday or the other day, there was a guy in a rusted out late model Ford F-150 and he had this massive dog with him and the dog was hanging out the window and then he couldn't figure out what was going on. And I'm like, this guy is going to be that guy. He's not going to let anyone in. And sure enough, he was just speeding, slowing, just to not let anyone in. And it's like, dude, it's not a game. You're supposed to, you know how a zipper works? That's how it's supposed to work. So if you're sitting in that zipper merge right now, you're supposed to let someone in and then everybody. That's how it's supposed to work.
It's how every drive-through is now, too, for fast food places. They all, no, literally, they have 2 kiosks where you order at and then you zipper together. We're already doing it at every fast food place.
Don't get me started why I get passed off to the second window all the time. Like, why can you not? Like, what in the 30 seconds it takes for me to get passed on and you couldn't have did that first window. I remember there was a time there was nobody behind me. They wanted, can you pull ahead to part? And I'm like, no, there's nobody behind me. Please make the order.
If they tell you to pull ahead, just pull ahead. How about I
don't mind pull ahead to a second window, but pull ahead and park, that's a different story. I'm
the D-bag that I love McDonald's. They're a sponsor, so I'm going to I love McDonald's coffee. I like Tim Hortons as well. But I'm the guy that orders the Egg McMuffin or the Sausage McMuffin at like 4 in the afternoon or 5 in the afternoon. So it's like auto. I just go and park because I know. So the guy who was making it, hey, well, then don't have the all-day breakfast if you're not serving it all day.
Didn't they get rid of all-day breakfast a couple of years ago?
You can get an Egg McMuffin or a Sausage McMuffin any time of the day at McDonald's.
Certain menu items that aren't all day now. It's all day, but there are certain ones that are only served before 11.
Yeah, you can't get a hash brown after 11. What a tragedy.
Here's to me. No, the tragedy is the breakfast is served too long. They should start serving anywhere 9:30, 10 o'clock. If you're a burger place, start serving lunch. Like hamburgers, fries, all of that. Don't make me wait.
Johnny G got the zipper merge going in Saskatoon for whatever reason. People in Regina just can't figure it out. I've been in a Saskatoon zipper merge too. We don't have it figured out up north either.
Nobody does.
It's all new.
Well, no, because they don't teach it. And the other thing too, where when it comes to traffic, when we're in dry pavement, I don't care what happens. It's when winter driving conditions come along, because then it's all bets are off, and then people really start not knowing what they're doing.
So anyone coming into the Rider game tomorrow from out of town, you might have to zipper merge if you're going on Ring Road. That game, 5 o'clock kickoff. The pregame show with Justin and Wes starts right here on 620 CKRM at 2 p.m. Dave Thomas caught up with Nelson Lacombo before the game. He's talking about the playoffs and knowing a lot of guys on the other side of the ball.
Nelson, what does it mean to you having clinched a playoff spot?
It means a lot. It means a lot to, have another opportunity to, get closer to that ultimate goal, which is a Grey Cup.
What would it mean to you then to clinch a home playoff spot?
It mean a lot. It mean a lot for us. It mean a lot for Rider Nation. And that's the goal. That's what we're playing. We're playing hard.
Getting a chance to see you every week and the defense every week, it seems like there's always a consistent progression, a step forward. Do you feel that way?
Definitely, yeah. No, and that's what we strive for every week, every day, is to try to build off of last week or however many weeks ago we started. We started out, and that's kind of the foundation of this team, is to get better every week.
I've had an opportunity to watch you for a long time, and I can see your meticulous preparation, and I know that you're goal-oriented. What do you want to see yourself improve upon? Is it a play-to-play thing, a week-to-week thing, a year-to-year thing?
Yeah, no, taking care of my body, make sure I'm good for the game, and just being able to put everybody in the right positions to make plays and just do my job.
I know that this is Thanksgiving weekend and there's a lot of things to be thankful for. Family and friends are one of them. If I was to drop in on your family and friends, would they be wearing green or orange?
Probably green. I'd say green. I mean, come on. They're all in BC and they're getting tired of that orange. So.
Fair enough. I can understand that, not being a Mr. Blackwell or anything. But moving on, you are playing and going to see a number of your former teammates on that team. Do you keep in contact with them? Do you reach out this week at all?
Yeah, I'll see him during the week, and I'll see him at the game, and we'll chop it up a bit, talk, and kind of catch up then.
Is it like yesterday that you've played with them, or does it seem like a long time ago?
I mean, kind of both, to be honest. Like, it's crazy how fast time goes by, and I'm in my 4th year in the CFL, and but at the same time, like, it feels like a long time ago, looking back. So
there's been a lot of things that have happened in those 4 years. Like you said, it could seem like a long time ago. Anything you'd want to go back and tell yourself 4 years ago, or when your name was called out by the Roughriders?
No, I think just keep that same attitude I've always had to get me to this point, and keep that motivation, keep grinding, and keep trying to get better every day.
We in the media like to talk about how important of a football game is this. Is this any more important than any other game you've played this year?
There's definitely high stakes in this game, but we treat it like it's another game, and trying to get a win. That's really what it is. Every day we try to win the day. Every game we try to win the game. So that's just how it's always been.
See, I get that they have to say that. It's just, treat it like any other game.
You can't.
You can't. No, it's a big game. It's home field playoff on the line. Craig Reynolds just sitting there going, it's a bigger game than the game that when we played Montreal in July or Hamilton or whatever. No, we need a home playoff game. We got to try and figure out a way to get a home playoff game.
Okay, so now Arash Madani said yesterday, and he pissed off a lot of people because we saw the texts and the calls that came in, because he doesn't think Saskatchewan has what it takes to win it all. Because he said you haven't beaten a good team. Now BC is slumped, but BC, to me, is a good football team. Has the record showed it lately? No, but they definitely have what it takes. So Arash said if they can beat some good teams, then they have a chance. Tomorrow, we win, and it's dominant. And I said we got to score at least 30 points to win, to put a kind of stamp on it, to be like, no, listen, everybody goes through their ups and downs. Now we're trending in the right direction. Tomorrow with a win, that's 4 in a row, and it's everything we need going forward with momentum into the playoffs. Because then it's bye week, and then the Stamps, and who knows by when we play the Stamps, who is even going to be on the Stamps roster, let alone who the starting quarterback is, who's still going to be in town. They're a mess, and I don't think they're going to get it together in the next 2 weeks before we wrap up the season.
AJ Ouellette is, if you're just joining and tuning in, he is starting at running back for the Riders tomorrow. Like we said earlier, you would think that they know what's best here, how they're going to use them. Thomas the Train, I wouldn't be surprised if we see looks with him running the football. I'm surprised, though, that they're going with Ouellette. I
am too. Now, here's the beauty of this 3-game winning streak, is because the run game has been effective, and Trevor Harris didn't have to throw a lot. But BC's defense, which has played pretty well all season, if they stop the run, that means we got to start throwing around. And what was it in that Calgary game? Is 15 or 18, or we're in low 20s for throws. If we have to start throwing 30 to 35 times in a game because the run game is shut down, that's when things start to happen. And you can't, the tip balls, interceptions, that you can't. And that's the thing. If they are able to stop the run, then we got to pat. We have to, because it's funny. There's more on the line for us because we need a home player. Like BC, I get it. You're hosting the Grey Cup and all of that, but it just seems that the pressure is on us. Not necessarily.
But they don't get an automatic bye to the Grey Cup.
I know that they don't. So, and that's why it was crazy when we talked to Farhan to be like, we think Rick Campbell's going to put in if Nathan Rourke struggles at VA. No, not until the playoffs. Would be like, you have everything on the line to play for. You don't want to risk having to go back on the road in the Western semifinal where anything could happen.
Okay, back to Sprinkletown. Here, I was going to look up who I'm going to wager on to score a touchdown for the Riders. I'm going to let you guys chime in here. You said Patterson?
Shea Patterson.
But the odds stink.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I appreciate that. I'm not going to. Patterson has the exact same odds as AJ Ouellette, where I'm going here. Exact same odds to score a touchdown. Now, the two guys that I'm looking at, Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah,
he's on a heater.
Yeah, so Keyshawn Johnson, because he's got how many touchdowns lately? Like, he's probably the hottest receiver the Riders had as far as touchdowns go.
He's paying $220
Not bad.
to score a touchdown, but Del Duncan Busby $450.
$10 gets you 45. 100 gets you 4,500.
I'm going to go there again because he almost. I thought he was going to hit last week. Brandon was on. We took him. He didn't hit. Anybody else out there? Anybody got a gut feeling on who to take to score a touchdown for the Riders tomorrow? Is it Mario Alford's time?
Sam Emilus.
What's Emilus paying? Emilus is $210. So not great. I always like taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders defensive touchdown or special teams touchdown.
So what's Roland Milligan at? Or no, it's just a prop for a defensive touchdown.
Just a prop.
Just a prop for a defensive touchdown. Hey, Roland, we know you got 8 INTs. Can you start turning those into pick sixes, please? Thank you, because now we're getting greedy.
Marcus Sales looking at you, too. You run one into the end zone tomorrow.
I know. It's funny. Some of those Marcus Sales, he's had some tough drops this year to be like, the hands, not where they needed to be.
That's where it's very curious. I'm very curious. I'm sure a lot of people are. Is Nathan Rourke against this defense? And what kind of scheme are we going to see from the defense? What are the BC Lions going to do? You got to think that we're taking away McInnes.
Well, last week, as dumpster fire as the Stamps were, they were able to get pressure on Nathan Rourke, and they ended up with 3 or 4 sacks. And some of them were coverage, and some of them were just straight hustle. So, yeah, it will be interesting because a lot of people, he's not seeing the field. He's not seeing it like he was. And everybody, he needs a training camp. But sooner or later, that's going to click in, and it's instinct. My big fear is him starting to run the ball, and if he starts running early, if they can't stop it, because that's when because then everything else opens up, and then you're vulnerable to that intermediate game because we play a lot of zone, and Justin McInnes being the leading receiver in the CFL for the Riders or for the Lions. I don't know. It should be a good football game. Looking forward to it.
On sportscage.com, you can go check out the story that CJ Rivas fined by the CFL for committing a non-football act against the Elks.
He's lucky he didn't get thrown out last week for throwing that punch. It kind of connected but didn't. But then also, too, is that the football gods from a few years ago? Because remember when Andrew Harris, was it Harris or, it was Harris, not Oliver, ripped off somebody's helmet and didn't get penalized? We did, yeah. So it's funny because normally now, like if you take a swing at someone, you're getting tossed from the game. So a fine, he's getting off easy.
Yeah, so that's at sportscage.com. Staying on football. So 5:27, sun setting. That game is our Friday Night Lights game of the week would almost be wrapping up for Regina Motor Products, Shaunavon and Lumsden.
Halftime for sure. We'd be at the half. Maybe they don't take a full 18-minute halftime like they do in the CFL. And, do cheerleaders still do performances at halftime? Is that still a thing?
I'm not sure about in high school.
Yeah,
they definitely did it at Tuscaloosa when I was there a couple weeks ago for Alabama.
Would definitely depend on the high school, and if you get down to 9 and 6 man, I am much less sure that they would do that.
There could be more cheerleaders than there are players.
The 5:15 game in Regina was that Battle of Argyle. It was Tom and O'Neill, so that would have kicked off about 10 minutes ago. That was a real interesting one as well. And then as you mentioned, Maz, the Highway 22 Stormer still undefeated. Thanks for them to always messaging in on their games to hi@sportscage.com. It was Highway 22 Storm 40, Wynyard 20 yesterday. So, Hudson Bradshaw, 3 tutties, as the kids say, for the Highway 22 Storm. So we love our high school football, our pro football, and then junior football on Sunday.
PJFC, so you have the Thunder taking on the Calgary Colts, and the Hilltops. Is it the Edmonton Huskies or the Edmonton Wildcats? I'm amazed that Edmonton can support 2 teams, and I'm sorry,
I don't think they support them.
Well, no, but how they have 2 teams. We can't look past it, but most people that follow the PJFC are just being like, can we just get to the Thunder and the Hilltops in another week for the real game that everyone's waiting for?
1 o'clock, Libel Field on Sunday. It is the Thunder and the Calgary Colts, who they just beat last week. So barring anything crazy happening, we're hoping for a Thunder Hilltops date again, like Matt said, in a couple of weeks. It is the all-new Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream, you see it all shaken down at sportscage.com.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Busy Bee Doors. Busy Bee will repair or replace your residential or commercial garage doors so you don't get stuck in or out. Catch the buzz. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails. It runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service. Their friendly parts staff has what your equipment needs to keep it running at the top of its game. Keep it genuine at Nick Service, your local genuine AGCO parts headquarters.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
It's time to bring the Thunder. The Regina Thunder are back in action this Sunday at 1 p.m. as they host the Calgary Colts. Come out Sunday afternoon and cheer on your Regina Thunder for this PFC semifinals playoff game as they aim to dominate the Colts. Advance tickets are available at reginathunder.ca or can be purchased at the gate. Kickoff is 1 p.m. at Libel Field. Regina Thunder football. Bring the Thunder.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Grandma Bentley.
Well, hello, Otto. Diesel, what are you and your dad doing today?
We just got our oil change at Moose Jaw Truck Shop.
Yeah, Mom. Thought maybe I could take your car in for you.
No, you can't. Not unless you take me with you. You know how much I love their cookies.
All month, oil changes are just $37.77 for cars, $67.77 for trucks and SUVs, and $117.77 for European and diesel. They'll see you soon at moosejawtruckshop.com.
Freeze Tallman wants you to get her done before winter. They can save you time and hassle by delivering your building materials directly to your home or cottage. They have brown treated lumber, composite decking, aluminum railing, fencing, landscaping material, everything you need to finish your outdoor building projects before snow falls. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
If you want to optimize yields and profits, you need the power of PRS technology from Western Ag. An accurate measure of the soil's power to release nutrients, a customized crop plan, a complete understanding of the best crop options for your fields, and a network of professional agronomy consultants. That is the power of PRS technology from Western Ag, helping you grow more profit.
Go to growmoreprofit.com and sign up your farm for soil sampling.
Rider Nation lives on 620 CKRM. I'm Dave Thomas, voice of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Tomorrow is game day as the Riders take on the BC Lions. Countdown to kickoff with Justin Dunk is at 2 p.m. Pre-game shows at 4. And kickoff with Luke Mullender and I is at 5. Saskatchewan Roughrider football on the Cooperators Roughrider Radio Network is brought to you by
Western Ag Professional Agronomy, Sask Lotteries, and your Saskatchewan AGCO dealers. Stream every minute of Rider football at sportscage.com.
Check us out online, streaming 24/7 at 620CKRM.com. Here's another country hit powered by Olympic Buildings on 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
That's good. You want to get into baseball?
Yes, because it's Game 5 tonight. Yankees and Padres. You Darvish.
Yankees?
Oh, pardon me. The Dodgers. So are the other villains.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday. The villains, the Yankees, they won. They're on to the League Championship Series. Baseball's always better when the Yankees are in. I don't care if they lose, but it just makes it more interesting. It's like when Tiger was good at golf.
Who do you cheer for then if the Yankees end up playing the Dodgers? Two heels.
It depends what gets you more heat. I like Aaron Judge as a baseball player. I think he's worth, to me, Aaron Judge is a guy that's actually worth his money because he can put his money, like he puts up, maybe like the playoff success hasn't been there yet because they haven't always made the playoffs, but he sure is a good regular season player. Good. He is good. So San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers tonight. It'll go just after about 6:10 is first pitch. Yu Darvish and Yoshinobu Yamamoto will take the mound for the Yankees.
You look like, on the stream right now, you look like Leahy having a cocktail.
No, these are electrolytes. Do you ever got those? They're called Element, LMNT. You got to order them off Amazon. They're electrolytes.
No free plugs.
No, if you're not into electrolytes, like how are you getting through the day?
Pierogies, cabbage rolls,
no gluten,
things like that.
Who's eating gluten in 2024?
People that are healthy, people that don't need electrolytes.
No, so we were talking Thanksgiving dinners earlier. There's just a lot of things now that were on the menu in the 80s you just can't hack anymore. And the other thing, too, is because it was Dave Thomas saying, everybody's got stuff, and if you eat it, it affects it negatively. Because now sometimes as everyone's a little older, after dinner at like Thanksgiving or a family gathering, everyone's kind of sitting around going, oh, geez, I shouldn't have. Or the pains and aches and stuff come out or whatever, and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, yeah.
I'm still looking for who's going to run a nice Thanksgiving buffet this weekend somewhere around town. Someone's got to have some. I'm craving stuffing mixed with mashed potatoes with gravy on top right now.
So
not even so much the turkey.
So as in our family, I'm the only one now between the wife and the three kids. I'm the only one that'll eat cranberry sauce. Nah. Now, as a kid growing up in Saskatchewan, where everything in our house was well done, turkey, chicken, beef, you name it.
Ukrainian dad, right?
The Ukrainian mom. The cranberry
overcooked everything.
The cranberry sauce was the only saving grace to give it anything a touch bit of moisture, much like gravy. So I'm like, yeah, sure, pray on. And the kids will be like, that's gross. That's because they taste that they're like, it's jam that's not sweet. But I'm like, it's not supposed to be sweet. Cranberries are.
They trick you. It's not even cranberries. It's just rhubarb, a rhubarb paste of some sort. Oh, gross. You had some stats. Colson, your stat guy. I've been waiting for you to chime in on stat guy here.
Yeah. So, no, we were talking just about some of the riders and their penalty troubles, and Curtis commented the unnecessary Roughriders, which is unfortunately true this year. They are leading the league in unnecessary roughness calls. So,
not surprised.
Yeah. As far as actual penalty yardage goes, they are second as well. These stats are from the last week, though. I didn't get an updated one yet, unfortunately. But
I will say a lot of that came early in the season, and they have, if anything, they have cleaned that up in the second half of the year. They're still taking them, and there's the odd one, but from where we started, that's one that they have under control. Some of them are just their play penalties where you happen, and it's just certain times it's going to happen.
That's the thing tomorrow. In a game like tomorrow, that means so much. The unnecessary penalties on either side of the ball. They're just the machismo factor of guys out there, type personalities.
You can't be losing your cool. The game's too much on the line. You're gonna have to look.
There'll be one dumb penalty tomorrow. I don't know. Hopefully, it's on the other side of the ball. For sure, there will be.
Yeah, and that's what Mace has been saying for like the last 3 weeks. Is they're getting better on penalties, but it's the dumb penalties at the dumb times, right? When you take the unnecessary roughness and it's first down when they were going to third down. So if
you're watching the stream, you see Colson, you can't see the stick in the boot. You gotta got to get a better spot for that twig that I brought in this week.
Why are you so proud of this aluminum hockey stick?
No, just because people out there will remember these. If you're watching the stream right now, Colson, look at this. If anyone remembers the gold
You are the
Easton,
worst. You are the most unattractive Price is Right model I have ever seen holding up a hockey stick.
It wasn't in my job description.
that stick, the old Easton
The two-piece.
aluminum, and it's so heavy. I found it, and I brought it back from Mom's a couple of years ago, and I said, "Hey, Rome's, go take a shot with this thing." And he was like, "What is this?" And it's an extra stiff. Now you don't have kids that play hockey, but it's all these light twigs. So if you ever see Connor Bedard shoot the puck, that bend, the whip, and it's like they teach him to shoot different. So it's all about that whip in the stick, kind of like a golf club, right? And it just, back in the day, it's like, no, the stiffer the better, and that's what that thing is.
Well, I'm sorry, but being old, I'm the oldest one on the show. I still have in the garage, and I'll go back to it. A wooden Coho is still the best hockey stick ever made. Somebody be like, no, a Titan or a Sherwood. Those wooden sticks, and I get it. The game has changed. No one would ever use that.
Can you send a picture of it?
But oh no, I will. But
I want to know which one you're talking about.
No, it was like, was it a Coho? Would it be a Coho? Was it a 2040 or a 2050?
I think like Coho, the Revolution was a popular. It was black with yellow writing.
No,
but then before is
wood,
it pre that?
Pre that, all wood. There's something about a wooden hockey stick, and that some people, and it's funny because you're Mr. Senior Hockey. There's guys out there that I'm sure. It's like, remember who told the story? Was it Patrick Marleau? The kind of skates that he loved wearing, they stopped making, so he bought a bunch of pairs, and eventually they were going to wear out. There's guys probably be like, their sticks are running out, and eventually they're going to have to shift into new technology, and it's probably killing them because they would love to go back to, like, it's like retro. If somebody came out and said, now we're making all wooden hockey sticks, we're going in the other direction, there would be a market for that.
I'm curious. You know, the one thing when it comes to hockey that I've always thought might come around, and it's not.
Cooper all pants
totally
again.
Wrong. Is defensemen using more heavy pieces of lumber, like the aluminum over there, just because you can give it to guys in the ribs and the back and the arms in front of the net. The cross checks with those things used to be so nasty. And the other factor is late in the game, if the stick breaks, you are hooped. And these new sticks nowadays, if you got any kind of little crack in them that you don't see, all of a sudden you go make that pass, breakaway the other way. I've always been like, that never used to happen with, not often,
no,
but it would.
And you feel bad in a high pressure situation in a game when a guy goes to make a play and all of a sudden that stick just disintegrates or whatever, and then something if they go on to score. Yeah. It's hockey night tonight here on 620 CKRM. The Pats taking on the Broncos. And we'll have play-by-play at 6:30 with Dante DeCaria, and then the play-by-play at 7 o'clock. Pats kind of finding their way, middle of the pack, and the power play has been good, but they haven't been scoring a lot of even-strength goals, and that's something that they've got to. And we knew this, Brad Haroff and crew coming in, that it's going to be by committee this year, but they just. And Dante the other night when he was on with us, he talked about all the guys that don't have a goal yet. There's some of them that are going to have to get. Some of these veterans that are going to have to get rolling because zero's on the board and we're like a couple weeks into the season and won't play well.
Tanner Howe's out, captain's out. That hurts, and it's a week to week thing. So yeah, elsewhere in the area, down the road in Moose Jaw this evening, Landon DuPont, the exceptional player who's got how many points now in the season, Colson? 11, 7 assists, 4 goals.
Yes,
plus 12. He's playing for the Everett Silvertips against Moose Jaw this evening in the Jaw. If you want to go check out that. Branded Medicine Hat's a real interesting one in the hat this evening. Those are going to be two of the teams that a lot of people think when it comes to the Eastern Conference that are going to be standing at the end of it all. So, and then Spokane is in Saskatoon. We had Dan De Silva, head coach of the Saskatoon Blades, on earlier. If you want to go back and listen to that in podcast form, Colson does have that up. Saskatoon's hosting Spokane, and Berkeley Catton, this evening. They're in Regina on Sunday to take on the Regina Pats. Berkeley Catton is worth the price of admission as well. He's a good hockey player, probably going to be playing with Canada's World Junior team this year, even though he's an 18. Was he playing it? He's an 18-year-old. It's a 19-year-old tournament, they always say, but he should be on that squad. SJHL, the Saudi Mainline Chrysler, worth the drive, game of the week.
Even Brian Munn said, yeah, I'm not buying. Nobody's driving to Flin Flon. We don't care how good the game is.
Hop in one of those new Ram 1500s up in Saudi. They got $18,000 off right now. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. It's Melfort and Flin Flon. Melfort's 5-1. Flin Flon's 4-3-1. Elsewhere in the SJ, Weyburn's Notre Dame, Nipawin, Yorkton. Humboldt is in the Battlefords, where I am tomorrow. Let me know if there's a good sports bar in the Battleford to watch the Rider game at. Estevan's in Kindersley and
Shouldn't
Melville.
you be at the rink? If you're going there with your kid for a hockey tournament, shouldn't you be at the rink watching your kid play?
They got to be at the rink like 2 hours before the game, man.
Why? They're 13.
It's U15. It's how it is. I'm just a guy.
What are you doing 2 hours before the game?
They do like warm-ups. It's a different ball game now.
Did they kick the soccer ball around and do that? Like, come on.
The gold aluminum days over there are long gone, where you showed up in the station wagon 20 minutes before the game.
There was always that one kid on the team, and sometimes he could be the best kid on the team, but 5 minutes before you're supposed to be going out, he shows up at the dressing room.
Absolutely.
Because his parents are a disaster and don't know how to tell time, and he was always late, but he was always the best kid on the ice.
And his mom always just smelt of darts. For sure. She was the heavy smoker in the crew.
The last year I played hockey, I remember our coach was a cab driver who smoked cigarettes, and he had a station wagon, and he would pick up kids and bring them to the...
He wasn't a vacuum salesman from Degrassi Junior High, was he?
Oh, man. Well, back then it was like, oh, you want to coach? Sure. You were just being a good volunteer. Now there wasn't training and all this other stuff. Yeah, he was a cab driver that drove a station wagon and smoked a lot of cigarettes. 2 hours before the game, and they're 13.
Colson's telling us we got to take a break. Why do we got to take a break?
Everything is too serious now. It's too serious.
It's the all-new Sportscage. We're having a lot of fun talking more than sports, obviously. Thanks. If you're watching the stream, sportscage.com.
See them rise.
Partial breakaway, right side stops, waits, he scores!
Then it's Dunlop Ford. Regina Pats hockey is back on your official voice for the Pats. 620 CKRM.
Tune in to Puck Drop tonight at 7 when the Swift Current Broncos take on the Regina Pats at the Brandt Center.
Game day tickets are available now from the Pats box office. Don't miss a minute of the action. Listen on air or online at 620CKRM.com. Regina Pats hockey. See them rise.
In town, at the cabin, or on the farm, only one rural internet provider brings you a whole home solution. Access Rural Internet now offers download and upload speeds up to 350 megs for one low price. Plus, keep entertained with Access Next TV Stream, and keep an eye on your home and property with Access Rural Security, each for just $14.95 a month extra. Get more from your rural internet service. Visit myaccess.ca today.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every game, home or away. And don't wait for the last minute. Get in on the amazing early bird prizes. Everything raised is used to support minor football in Saskatchewan. Support a great cause and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Sponsored by ISC.
Regina Pats hockey is back, and that net is wide open to renew your plates. When you take that big slap shot, do it online with Dusick and Barlow. Request a quote for anything you need. It's a true breakaway, and as easy as it is for the Pats to score that winning goal. When it comes to online plate renewal, there's no high sticking involved, just the most valuable players in the game. Your local Regina insurance brokers, Dusick and Barlow. Local owners, local business, SaskInsurance.com.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. TNT Auto Body and Customizing, an SGI accredited company, points out that more than 70 Canadians are diagnosed with breast cancer each day. And when discovered early, the chances of successful treatment are greatly improved. Find out more about breast cancer screening from your healthcare professional today. It could be the best gift you give yourself or your family all year. A reminder from TNT Auto Body and Customizing, an SGI accredited company located just off the highway in Indian Head. Visit tnt-autobody.ca.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders, or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Uh-oh, the power's out and the lights are gone. It's dark. What do? If you had a standby generator from Shorty Generators, you could just keep doing whatever you want. Keep the power flowing all the time with Shorty Generators. They offer the largest selection of generators in Saskatchewan with all the major standby generator brands like Generac, Kohler, Champion, Cummins, and Briggs & Stratton. They can have it installed in your home so you'll never have to wonder what to do when the power goes out again. ShortyGenerators.ca.
Spend your day interacting with us. Call or text us 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com on 620 CKRM.
Back to the all-new Sportscage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Brad up in Saskatoon says he has one of those old Easton aluminums that he still uses. Oh, guys won't take a draw against it. Call it a stick breaker. Yeah, no doubt, Brad.
Do dudes get, like, obviously, you get super mad. Like, if someone snaps your $200 to $300 stick, like in senior hockey, like, dudes must lose their mind, right?
Yeah, that'd be more in, like, beer league hockey.
No, but that's what I mean. If there's ever, like, violence, is it because somebody broke somebody else's expensive stick?
Brian says, still use a Lidstrom curve, but no kids do, so they're a total pain to find in any stores. That's kind of going off the thing that you're saying where guys are buying skates, sticks, different curves, hard to come by. Yeah, see, I'm not... I need to start skating more again. But I'm just...
Why? What is
happening?
Just good.
It's just good to get out.
Do you think Trotsy's going to phone to be like, listen,
see, don't
Barney,
be that geek. It's just good exercise.
We need somebody on the fourth line.
Because I'm not put spandex on and go run around the lake guy. I'd rather go skate and have play the game that I grew up loving. I applaud the guys that are like 70 that are still skating. Like just like pickup hockey at noon on Fridays. Sure. I love it.
Because it's an exercise thing, and you're not. But you know this.
Well, I know I'm not going. I'm almost 50.
I know. But there's guys, no matter what it is, the try too hard guy in lunchtime hockey, in his mid 40s, is also that same guy that bought a cycling bike. And he bought the Tour de France outfit. Because it's funny, you go from this is just recreation. So when you're a cyclist, at what point in your brain to be like, now I have to start dressing like Lance Armstrong? Because then you're taking it that next step too far. Like lunchtime hockey guy that is playing like it's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final.
But it's all based on the competition. Is there other guy on the other side that's playing like it's Game 7? Then you go rip against each other. That's how I look at it. If everyone's just out for a casual skate, okay, no. But I've always wondered about bike guy. Yeah, at what point does he make that
choice
buy?
When you're going to be, now I have to start dressing in the Tour de France outfit. Because once you never go back.
And you have to at some point come out of a room and you look at yourself in a mirror, and then your wife's going to see you at one point and go, what are you doing?
I've met your wife, and obviously I've met my wife. They are not the type to pull punches or to ever hold anything back. I couldn't imagine you or I trying to dress like Lance Armstrong for the Tour de France and what the reaction would be. The initial reaction would be like, I'm going nowhere in public with you.
Yeah, no, I would be shunned to the basement or whatever's below the basement. No, yeah, that's an interesting take. Maybe if we ever bring this conversation up next week, maybe Bike Guy will chime in. At what point do you make the call?
No, because Bike Guy will just defend it to the bitter end. And I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm not applying to you because that is. But a lot of people, you make that decision, you never go back. Like you'll wear a backpack, you'll wear that to work. You'll have your normal clothes in a backpack. Because bike lanes, and you have freedom and rights that we car drivers.
It's like hardcore jogger guy. Like you wear the tight pants. Like you don't wear shorts anymore. If you're a hardcore jog guy, you're wearing a tight pant. Up top, it's the jacket breaks the wind, but it's tight. No, it is.
I know.
People that jog without headphones in too.
No, or people that jog without water. Like, how can you do that? Like, I would be hunched over, dying of thirst.
I know a guy that used to run marathons, and I'm like, what do you listen to? He's like, nothing.
Oh, he's raw dogging it?
I'm like, what? Nothing? Like, just the sound of your feet for 30 kilometers or whatever it is on the pavement? No deal. Baseball this evening, we talked about it. That's how we're going to end this show. Hey, thanks for all the anniversary messages. Maz, good job. It's a long weekend. We're not here Monday. We're back on Tuesday. I'm hopefully going to find a good Thanksgiving buffet. Colson, good job. Curtis, good job. Everyone have a safe Thanksgiving long weekend. Go Riders.
We'll see you tomorrow at Mosaic Stadium.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
I'm Dave Thomas, and it's time for the Major League Report. For Shorty Generators, keep the power in your hands with an automatic standby generator from Shorty Generators, the standby generator experts. The chase for the World Series is down to 6 teams, and the possibility of a Subway Series remains intact. On the junior circuit, the New York Yankees punched their ticket to the American League Championship Series with a 3-1 Game 4 win in Kansas City last night. Yankee slugger Giancarlo Stanton.
We wanted to knock this out here and not have to go home and take a Game 5, so we did what we wanted, and it's another step forward.
The Yankees now await the winner of the Cleveland-Detroit series. Last night, the Guardians forced a 5th and deciding game in that set with a 5-4 Game 4 victory. David Fry hit the go-ahead home run for Cleveland, who entered the game facing elimination.
Even bigger than anything else was just boys' backs against the wall, got a must-win game, and able to get our team the lead. And obviously with our bullpen, we feel really good once we get the lead.
Game 5 in that series is tomorrow night in Cleveland. In the National League, the New York Mets are through to the NLCS, yes, enabling the dream of a Subway Series to continue. Now, the Mets scored a 4-1 win on Wednesday night to upset Philadelphia in 4 games. The other divisional series in the National League will see a 5th and deciding game that goes tonight. Los Angeles will welcome San Diego to Dodger Stadium after forcing the game with an 8-0 win in Game 4. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts says they're excited for the one-game showdown.
Your desire's got to be more than your opponent. And for me, to see our guys go through what they've been through and respond the way they have really makes me excited about Game 5.
There won't be much time to celebrate, though, as the National League Championship Series will start on Sunday. The American League Championship Series is set to open on Monday. And that's the Major League Report. For Shorty Generators, keep the power in your hands with an automatic standby generator from Shorty Generators, the standby generator experts.
Your co-op grow team are your local experts because we live here too. Our agronomic specialists stay up to date with the latest research and technology to help support your entire farm operation.